After a much-needed day off, Hyannis returns to the diamond tonight at McKeon Park in search of their sixth win of the season. The offense has been firing on all cylinders as of late, and to try and match the firepower from the bats on the mound, Hyannis will give the ball to right-hander Kyle Murphy, who's making second start of the summer tonight. Meanwhile, for the visiting Falmouth Ball Club, they're looking to rebound after suffering a 13-0 loss at the hands of the Bourne Braves just one evening ago. It's the Harbor Hawks and the Commodores on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hi, everyone. Pleased to welcome you all inside the broadcast tonight. Alongside Lyle Goldstein, I'm Brendan Howe. And Lyle, let's just touch upon it real quick. We obviously know the offensive firepower has been there the last couple of games, and it's been clicking on all cylinders for multiple bats in this lineup. But the pitching staff just hasn't been able to hold serve the past couple of nights, the bullpen specifically. But Kyle Murphy, who we saw a couple of evenings ago in Wareham after a day off yesterday, getting the start tonight after going just one inning.
Yeah, and we'll see what he has to offer tonight. Again, making his second start, so now he's gotten his feet under him a little bit in terms of starting ball games here on the Cape. And yes, the pitching could use a little bit of improvement. I'm sure they're looking to have a bounce back outing tonight. But when the offense is going as well as it is, that's something to take away, and there's no question about it. So the offense, looking back to Sunday against Wareham, 10 runs on 17 hits. I mean, how much more can you ask for? The offense has jumped up the league in a ton of offensive ranks. They're really starting to put together some big innings. It's just a question of both sides putting together a big night. When the hitting clicks and the pitching clicks, that's when things work well. And it's worked well with those two clicking on all cylinders once already this season, or it's happened more than once, but once against this Commodores ball club. Back a few weeks ago, Hyannis won 10-4 against Falmouth. The hitting was on, the pitching was on, and it was just a well-rounded ball game for the Harbor Hawks ball club. So we'll see if that can kind of translate over to McKeon Park today, because Hyannis, fresh off an off day, one of only two teams to get one yesterday, should be fired up and ready to go today.
Well, we should be in for a good one from McKeon Park. First pitch just moments away. We'll have lineups and first pitch for you on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We bring you back to McKeon Park, just moments away from first pitch. The Northeastern Husky, Kyle Murphy, on top of the rubber, finishing his warm-up tosses as we speak. And he'll face a Falmouth Commodores lineup that looks like this. Leading off and playing second base, Hayden Cantrell. Following him in center is Tim Tawa. Zach DeLoach out in right. Following him, Trey Cruz in the cleanup spot at third. Tyler Ross, the DH. Matt Nelson behind the dish. Austin Langworthy in left. Barron Radcliffe at first. And rounding out the nine, Kevin Kendall at shortstop. Lyle, both of these teams coming into tonight looking to avenge a couple of tough losses. One on a blowout fashion last night for the Falmouth Commodores, 14-0 at the hands of the Bourne Braves. For Hyannis, it was an offensive showdown, a 12-10 defeat they suffered at Spillane Field back on Sunday evening. So Hayden Cantrell striding up to the plate as we're just about set for action here from McKeon Park. The 24th game of the summer for these Harbor Hawks. 5-17-1. Hyannis comes into action tonight. 11-9-1 for the visiting Falmouth Commodores. Murphy into his windup. First pitch, a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. We're underway. 6:04 p.m. first pitch time here from beautiful McKeon Park. The gorgeous evening for baseball, as it has been so often over the past week or so. Murphy high and tight with an 0-1, but a called strike. It's 0-2 quickly to Cantrell. And this Falmouth lineup, specifically the hitters in the 1 and 3 slots, two guys to keep an eye on. The leadoff man, Cantrell, fourth on Cape Cod in average. As a breaking ball misses down and away to make the count 1-2. Cantrell steps in at 348 for his first plate appearance this evening. Matter of fact, he picked up a pair of base knocks last time these two teams squared off. Murphy fires a 1-2. It's a high fastball, swing and a miss from Cantrell. Strike three, down he goes. So he's out number one. That'll bring up Tim Tawa. So Kyle Murphy picking up his first strikeout right off the bat. So a good start for the Northeastern right-hander. On the season, Murphy comes in with an 0-1 record, an 11.17 ERA. He's only tossed 9 2/3 innings, so a rather small sample size to this point. He's walked 5 and struck out 7. He did toss an inning over the weekend at Wareham. 2 earned runs on 2 hits in that ball game. Tawa swings at the first pitch and sends a fastball out of play. Well, even though Murphy did work himself into some trouble in that outing against the Gatemen, he located his fastball pretty well, as he's done so here tonight, as a breaking ball slapped in the air to right field, sending back Jordan toward the track. He'll make the catch, and Tawa's out number 2.
Yeah, well, Murphy's been right around the zone. He was around the zone Sunday at Wareham, and today he's been spotting up his pitches pretty well through the first 2 hitters. He punched out Cantrell, and right there, a piece of soft contact from Tawa. So he's off to a good start.
So this is Zach DeLoach, the right fielder, stepping in. And DeLoach comes in leading Cape Cod in average. He's up over 370 at 375 to be exact. Breaking ball missed low and inside. Now Murphy looking for a very clean top of the first inning and getting his Hyannis bats to the plate. He fires a 1-0 in the air to center. Chasing back Teodosio toward the wall. He's got a beat on it, and he'll make the grab as he backtracks toward the wall to end the inning. So Kyle Murphy, 3 up, 3 down right away. And the Hyannis offense coming to the plate. Score was from McKeon Park when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the first inning from McKeon Park. Hyannis coming to the plate for their first licks against the Samford Southpaw Sam Strickland. You've seen these Hyannis Harbor Hawks once this season already, but here's how Chad Gassman lines up tonight. Jordan Westberg leading off and playing shortstop. Following him, Anthony Servideo at second base. Hunter Goodman, the DH, in the third spot. Jared DeSantolo in the cleanup slot, batting fourth, playing third base. Trevor Haber in left field, followed by Ian Fair at first. Rowdy Jordan in right. Adam Hackenberg behind the dish. And Bryce Teodosio in center field, rounding out the nine. So Jordan Westberg. My goodness, Lyle, we've talked about it so much. What a first 4 games this man has had here on Cape Cod. He's carrying a .625 batting average into tonight. 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. And he has really opened some eyes as he has stepped onto Cape Cod this week. First pitch from Strickland. Fastball on the outside corner, a called strike, 0-1. And for Hyannis again. Their last time out was on Sunday evening at Spillane over the bridge in Wareham. 10 runs on 17 hits in that contest. Strickland winds and delivers. Breaking ball low. Count evens at 1-1. Strickland this season, a 1-1 record of 3.21 earned run average. He's made 3 appearances, all of them being starts. He's gone 14 innings in a Commodores uniform so far this summer. 1-1 on the way. Fastball, Westberg turns on it, sends it in the air to deep center field. Tower ranging back to the wall. He's got a beat on it as it ran out of gas. And Westberg's retired for out number 1. Boy, everything just looks so good coming off his bat.
Yeah, even that one, I mean, he squared it up, just put it at the deepest part of the ballpark. It sent Tallow ranging back right in front of the track to make the grab. So he got a piece of it. Like you said, though, just kind of died out toward the end.
So Anthony Servideo digs in from the left side. Lefty-lefty matchup here against Strickland, seeing him for the first time. Southpaw into his motion, fires a breaking ball, catches the outside corner, a called strike. Strickland has seen these Harbor Hawks once before, as I just mentioned. That was on June the 26th. He went 4 innings in that ball game, gave up just 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Fires an 0-1. Breaking ball popped up left side, ranging after it, the third baseman Cruz. He'll give it a look toward the wall, but he'll run out of room as it tails out of play. So Hyannis looking to square up the ball a bit better than they did off the Samford product the last time they saw him. Strickland had 2 walks and 3 strikeouts to go with his line in that ball game. Winds and fires an 0-2 to Servideo. It's a breaking ball downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And this is a Hyannis offense. We talk about them swinging the bats well, but their league ranks have been creeping up there as well. Strickland's 1-2. Breaking ball upstairs at the letters. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hyannis has creeped up to 5th in runs. They're up over 100. 106 is an offense. 4th in hits. And 5th in team home runs. 2-2 to Servideo. Fastball just outside. Trying to paint the outside black did Strickland. Not exactly happy with that last call. Gave a bit of a shake of the head as he's back to the rubber. So full count for Servideo. Nobody on and 1 out. The payoff from Strickland. Fastball cut and a miss, strike 3. Went up the ladder, got Servideo to go after it. He fans through it. So 2 down for Hunter Goodman.
Well, Servideo worked a good count. Like we said, we always say, you can get on base at a really good rate. So he made Strickland work, but the high fastball got the better of him there.
Well, we talked about Westberg's pop, the lead off the ball game. Here's a guy in Hunter Goodman, a Memphis Tigers, quietly had himself an outstanding campaign on the summer so far as he watches a strike on the inside corner. First on Cape Cod in RBIs is Hunter Goodman as he taps the plate. 22 he's tallied up so far on the summer. Strickland's 0-1. Breaking ball for the top of it, 0-2. Goodman's launched 4 home runs as part of those 22 RBIs. The ball just looks different coming off his bat. 0-2 pitch as a fastball runs high and wide. Hyannis still in search of their first hit of the night off the southpaw. Goodman wiggles the bat above his shoulder, awaits a 1-2. Breaking ball, tap foul off to the left of the plate. The count will hold and he'll do it again. Now, Goodman, you could say, is an RBI machine. So much so, he's racked up 2+ RBIs in 3 of his last 4 appearances. Nobody on here as he bats with a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Tag applied from Nelson behind the plate for good measure. Back-to-back Ks for the southpaw Strickland to get him out of the first inning. It's been 3 up, 3 down for both sides. Score was from McKeon Park. Hyannis in the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We'll go to the top of the second when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the second inning and a scoreless ball game from McKeon Park as Kyle Murphy returns to the bump for his second inning of work. Trey Cruz, Tyler Ross, and Matt Nelson, the middle third in the Falmouth order, set to go. Murphy winds, fires a first pitch fastball. Cruz swings and fouls it straight back off the netting. But Murphy, as well as Strickland, worked a 3 up, 3 down first inning. Strickland racked up 2 strikeouts. Murphy fanned the leadoff man Cantrell to start the ball game. Fires an 0-1, breaking ball inside, 1-1. Trey Cruz bats with a 294 clip coming into tonight. Trying to raise that average up toward the 300 mark as he slaps one down the left field line, tailing well foul, and that will find the crowd. The ball and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting third baseman. Murphy into his motion, the 1-2 offering. Breaking ball caught the outside corner, strike 3. Cruz goes down looking. Murphy picks up his second strikeout, and a beauty there as he worked both sides of the plate well in that at bat, and that'll bring up Tyler Ross.
Well, Cruz wasn't too thrilled walking back to the dugout. I think he thought that one was a bit down. Murphy gets the call and a good start to the top of the second. He's retired his first 4 hitters.
So in steps another left-handed hitting Tyler Ross as he swings at the first pitch, sends that one into left center field. Going to get down for a base hit and roll all the way to the track. Teodosio misplays it. It gets up around the fence, and Ross cruises into second with a 1-out double. So Teodosio gave that one a run out in left center field. He originally overran the ball as it went to the wall. And Ross turning on the jets around first base and cruising into second, no problem.
Now, Ross put a nice swing on it, just out into the gap. Bryce tried to cut it off at about the track, so it didn't lose too much ground as he let it get about 2 feet beyond him and just picks it up off the fence, a quick relay in. But for Ross, he picks up a 1-out hit, and there's the first Falmouth runner in scoring position. In fact, there's the first base runner of the ball game.
So Matt Nelson steps into the right-handed box with a runner in scoring position and 1 down. Murphy forced to work from the stretch for the first time tonight as he fires a breaking ball that just misses inside. Quickly taking a look at the Hyannis defense. Left to right in the outfield, Trevor Hauver, Bryce Teodosio, and Rowdy Jordan. Same way around the infield, Jared DeSantelo, Jordan Westberg, Anthony Servideo, and Ian Fair. And Adam Hackenberg making up the battery with Murphy on the mound as he comes set. The 1-0. Fastball at the knees, a called strike to even the count. Northeastern Husky Murphy trying to keep these Commodores off the board early. Hyannis has had to play a lot of come from behind in these recent ball games. A lot to ask from the offense to try and have to rally late in ball games. Murphy fires a 1-1. Fastball, that one on a line toward Westberg at short. He stabs it, and back to second base, Tyler Ross. Now Nelson just getting one off the end of the bat. Sent the lazy line drive out to Westberg. It's short. He put it away. So 2 down now for Austin Langworthy and still a man in scoring position. Langworthy steps in. It's been a bit of a struggle for him, batting in the 7th spot tonight, but a 140 average and just 1 RBI. Murphy looking to evade any trouble here in the top of the 2nd inning. Just 1 hit, courtesy of the man standing at second base and Ross. Murphy, a kick and a turn back toward him. Nobody was holding him on. This Hyannis pitching staff looking to shut down this Commodore lineup and lower a team ERA that has crept up over 7.5. It's been a rough time on the mound for Hyannis so far this season as the first pitch breaking ball misses in the dirt, spiked up to Hackenberg a few feet in front of the plate. No advance for Ross at second base. And wow, we talk about it so much. It's not so much these pitchers missing their spots. It's just these lineups. They're opposing Hyannis just squaring up the ball quite well off of them. Last in the league in hits given. The breaking ball drops in for a strike, 1-1. Matter of fact, to be exact on that number, 233 hits surrendered as a ball club. The teams have really been seeing the ball well out of these Harbor Hawk arms. Murphy set for a 1-1. He comes home. Fastball just a bit low, 2-1. Baron Radcliffe, the number 8 man, and the first baseman awaiting on deck. Murphy trying to halt this 2nd inning Falmouth rally right where it is. He's set, takes a breath, a look towards second, now fires a 2-1. Breaking ball just misses off the outside part of the plate. Trying to paint the black again. Instead, it's 3-1.
Well, like you talked about, a lot of these lineups, in fact, all these lineups in the Cape are so good. It's, of course, all the best talent from around the country. So there is an adjustment period. For Murphy, he's had 1 start, and he's clearly made some adjustments so far in start number 2.
3-1 comes in. A called strike as Langworthy was about ready to toss the bat and head down to first. He thought he had drawn the walk, and he's brought right back by home plate umpire Jason Klump. Murphy picking out a spot at the top of the zone and hitting the glove of Hackenberg, and the count fills 3-2. Tyler Ross gathering a lead out at second base. Murphy 1 pitch away from getting Hyannis back to the dish. The payoff. Fastball popped up left side, ranging after it to Santalos. Slowly into foul ground, but he'll watch it sail up onto the hill that resides just past the Harbor Hawk dugout. A couple of young fans digging for the souvenir. The count stays filled to Langworthy. He's put up a tough at bat here against the right-hander. Slight breeze blowing out toward right center tonight at McKeon. Murphy's ready at the belt. The next 3-2. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Langworthy knew it. He heads back to the dugout. A pair of strikeouts in the inning for Murphy. He's up to 3 on his evening so far. For Falmouth in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left aboard. Still scoreless. Hyannis back to the plate, trying to break that when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Jared DeSantelo, Trevor Hoffer, and Ian Fair, the middle third of the Hyannis order, set to go to the plate here in the bottom of the second. Falmouth put up one hit in the top half of the inning. Hyannis still in search of their first. And they've got a good man to lead off this inning, Jared DeSantelo, who steps in from the left side. The Sanford left-hander, Sam Strickland. Back to the rubber for Falmouth as he kicks and fires a first pitch. A big looping breaking ball that stayed up high, 1-0. And for DeSantelo, he's been a mainstay in this Hyannis lineup for the majority of the summer. As he stares down Strickland's 1-0. It's a breaking ball dropped in for a strike, count 1-1. DeSantelo's been swinging it well all season long, a .373 average coming into tonight. But he's been seeing it especially well against these Commodores. Breaking ball low and away, 2-1, 3 straight to start the at-bat to Jared. And just how well has Jared been seeing these Commodores? Well, 5 for 8 on the season, good for a .625 average against this Falmouth ball club. Fastball pumped in for a strike. The count pulls even at 2-2. DeSantelo's come around to score 5 times. He's picked up an RBI and walked twice. Coming in the 2 official meetings, I guess you could say, against these Commodores. 2-2 on the way. Breaking ball, DeSantelo sends it on the ground towards second base. Cantrell scoops it up, fires across to first in time to get him. So a nice, easy routine play for Cantrell at second base to retire DeSantelo for out number 1. I'm going to bring up Trevor Hoffer. Left-handed hitting Sun Devil, seeing his first plate appearance against the Southpaw tonight. Trevor, a .234 hitter stepping in. And of course, last time Hyannis traveled out to see Falmouth on the road, Hoffer launched a grand slam as part of a big victory for Hyannis. What was their third of the season as Hoffer watches a fastball inside. It's 1-0. Trevor picked up 7 RBIs in that contest. Has him sitting at 11 on the season as he enters play tonight as he takes the fastball at the letters. It's 2-0. So Trevor trying to continue his success against these Commodores. Strickland winds and fires 2-0. Another fastball. That one paints the outside corner for a strike. Falmouth infield playing a bit back. The second baseman Cantrell, a full step onto the outfield grass. Strickland winds and fires a 2-1 through the hole into right field, a base hit. Hoffer put that one on a rope. As Deloach scoops it up in right field, tosses it back into the infield, but Hoffer has the first base hit of the night for Hyannis. He's aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Ian Fair.
Nice job by Trevor. Just saw one on the inside part of the plate, squares it up, shooting it through the 3-4 gap. That'll bring up Ian Fair. He's swung a pretty nice bat as well since returning.
So Fair steps in from the right side. As you mentioned just now, Lyle, it's been seeing it pretty well, as a lot of these bats have in this Hyannis lineup. A .500 average for Fair, although a very small sample size. He takes a fastball at the knees for a strike. Ian back with Hyannis for the second time this summer. Northeastern infielder vying for a rebound a second time around as Hoffer gets a short lead off of first. Pitches in, a breaking ball bounced in front of Fair and into the chest protector of Nelson as he scoops it and fires back to Strickland on the hill. Fair adjusts the helmet and waves the bat out toward the left-hander on the mound. Strickland comes set, looks at Hoffer, now comes home. It's a high fastball up and away. More fans still filing in down the left field line on top of the hill. A lot of fans residing down there with some beach chairs, taking in the ball game tonight here from McKeon Park. 2-1 to Fair. He slaps it foul right side. That'll get up and over everything out of play off into the woods. And over the weekend against the Bourne Braves, McKeon Park probably saw what was one of the better crowds of the 2019 summer so far, and tonight no different. Bleachers filling up on both the left and right sides of the confines of McKeon Park as Fair chops a 2-2 down the third baseline, well foul. As it trickles in front of Chad Gassman. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Fair. He's got a runner aboard and 1 down. That's Trevor Hoffer over there. Just 90 feet down the first baseline. So Fair looking to launch a Hyannis rally here in the bottom of the second and break our scoreless tie. The 2-2 is spiked in the dirt. Strickland, bit of a late release on a fastball as he bounced it up to Nelson behind the plate. And the count fills up to Fair, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fair taps the front foot in the box as Strickland looks back to first. Tauber just had to take a step back to the bag. He's in safely. Had a very short lead down there at first. Now he gathers a couple steps off the bag, held on by Radcliffe. Strickland fires a 3-2 home. It's in the dirt. And Ian Fair draws a 1-out walk to give things to Rowdy Jordan with 2 on.
Fair worked a good at bat. Didn't chase anything, especially that last pitch in the dirt. He lays off and he moves things station to station for Rowdy Jordan.
So Rowdy steps in. 103. He's got a man in scoring position. Trevor Hopper at second. Of course, Ian Fair just drawing the walk. He's down at first base. Jordan shifted over from center field where he had been defensively in the first couple of outings over the weekend against Bourne. He's moved to right field tonight with Bryce Teodosio being inserted back into the lineup. Jordan swings and ropes one to third base and a diving stop by Cruz back to second. In time, a double play. Trey Cruz taking a base hit away from Rowdy Jordan and then firing back to double off Trevor Hopper at second base, and that will end the inning. What a play from Trey Cruz. Still scoreless here from McKeon Park. Top of the third coming up on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Barron Radcliffe, Kevin Kendall, and Hayden Cantrell, the 8-9-1 in the Falmouth order, coming to the plate in the top of the third, with the Northeastern right-hander Kyle Murphy on the mound as he rocks and deals the first pitch to the left-hander Barron Radcliffe. It hits the outside corner for strike 1. So Murphy's had 2 really nice innings pitched so far in his second start of the summer. He comes home with the 0-1, breaking ball swing and a miss by the hitter Barron Radcliffe. He's faced 1 over the minimum to this point. 3 strikeouts. Only gave up that double in the left center gap to Tyler Ross. Murphy now the 0-2. Swinging a foul back. Radcliffe just got a piece of it to stay alive. He comes into the day hitting 137. It's been a little bit of a rough go of it for him on Cape Cod. Just 4 for his first 29. Murphy fires home. It's way up high. Radcliffe has some real power, however. He hit just 4 in his summer for Georgia, or in his season for Georgia Tech. The 1-2 comes home, swing and a miss. How about Kyle Murphy records his 4th strikeout of the night, and there's 1 out in the top of the third.
Well, picking up right where he left off, he fanned Langworthy to end the second inning, and now picking up his 4th against Barron Radcliffe, made him look silly with a breaking ball down and away.
So now the hitter Kevin Kendall. UCLA shortstop out of the number 9 spot. Murphy working from the third base side of the rubber, deals to his catcher Hackenberg, fastball runs inside. But again for Radcliffe, who's now 4 for his first 30. This guy has some real pop. The ball just sounds different off his bat during batting practice. Murphy fires home. Kevin slaps one to the right side through the 3-4 hole, a base hit past the diving backhand of Ian Fair. So Kevin Kendall picks up the second hit of the night for Falmouth. He stands at first base, and it turns things back to the top for Hayden Cantrell.
Well, Kendall lucked out a little bit there. Just poked one through a hole, and Ian Fair, his 6'5" frame, not enough to try and knock down that ball. Anthony Servideo came over to try and back up the play, but nobody would have been covering first anyway. So a base hit for Kevin Kendall out of the number 9 spot. Back to the top of the order for Falmouth.
So Kendall, who's had a rough go of it so far, came into the day hitting just 179 as Murphy fires over to first. Helps himself out a little bit with that base hit. So he struggled a little bit. And again, Baron Radcliffe, a guy who's got natural power. Really no ballpark can hold him during batting practice at least. As Murphy fires home to Cantrell, it misses down. He's just yet to put it together in a game. He hasn't hit a home run in the summer yet. So that BP power has yet to translate to game power. Meanwhile, for Cantrell, he hasn't had a problem hitting the ball out of the yard this summer. He's got 3. It's a switch hitting Louisiana Lafayette products from the left side as he swings and lines one past the dive of Servideo to his left, and it's into right field. Kevin Kendall moves up to second, Cantrell aboard at first, and there's 2 on with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. Murphy gives up back-to-back hits, and that'll bring up Tim Tawa, the Stanford center fielder. The Tawa will dig in from the right side. He's one of 2 just natural righties in the order today. Himself, as well as Florida State catcher Matthew Nelson. Falmouth has 3 switch hitters in their lineup today. Hayden Cantrell, who just singled, Trey Cruz, as well as Tyler Ross, who doubled back in the second. Murphy takes a breath out of the stretch, he'll come home. Breaking ball, swung on and popped high in the air to right center. Teodosio calling everybody off, moving to his left, and he makes the grab in the gap. Nobody's going to advance. So Cantrell walks back to first. Kevin Kendall motions back to second, and with 2 down, it'll bring up Zach DeLoach. So DeLoach with a deep fly out to center in his first at bat. But he's a guy to keep an eye on tonight. Tonight features the Cape League's top 2 hitters going head-to-head. DeLoach, the highest batting average coming into today's play. Jared DeSantolo, the Hyannis third baseman, sits just 0.02 of a point behind him. DeLoach flew out in his first at-bat. DeSantolo grounded out. Now the offering. Breaking ball misses down. So after those first at-bats, DeLoach sits at 368. DeSantolo sits at 367. So Jared's had a higher volume of at-bats so far this summer than DeLoach has. As he flips the bat toward the mound once, now he's into his stance. It's 0-0 in the top of the 3rd. Breaking ball misses down. So the Cape League's top hitters kind of pinwheeled a bit. It's been almost like a rotating carousel over the last week. Wyatt Young's held that title. Nick Gonzalez has held the title. Jacob Teeter had for a bit a week or so ago. Now it's DeLoach from Falmouth, who watches one down with a fastball. It's 3-0. The Texas A&M outfielder, once again, 0 for 1 today. He's got an RBI opportunity at hand. But DeSantolo looking to play a little bit of catch-up tonight. So he's got a chance to end the day as the Cape's top hitter. Of course, a long way to go in the season. This is Falmouth's 22nd game, Hyannis' 24th. But both these guys have hit almost nonstop through their first halves of the summer. Murphy sets at the belt, fires home. 3-0, gets down for ball 4. Just under the knees as DeLoach draws a 4-pitch walk to load the bases with 2 outs for Trey Cruz. So this is the first bit of trouble Murphy's been in tonight, Brendan. He gave up the back-to-back hits and now the 2-out walk. So he's going to look to minimize damage here.
And he stayed around the zone in that last at bat to DeLoach, just being a bit careful with him. And how could you not be? The leading hitter on the Cape entering tonight's play. Murphy didn't want him to get burned that time, but as a result, it loads the bases. But good news for the right-hander, this 2 down.
Murphy already got Cruz once. That was striking out looking to begin the top of the second. Fires home a breaking ball, chested up by Hackenberg. No runners are going to advance. Kevin Kendall stands at third. Cantrell at second. Zach Deloach, who just drew the 4-pitch walk, stands at first. Murphy dangling that right arm down, gazing in at his catcher Hackenberg. Now he gets the sign. Takes a breath, the stretch, and the 1-0 on the way. Good fastball for a called strike. The count levels. Cruz on the season hitting .290. He's got 12 RBIs. He's really made the most of his opportunities with runners on base. Murphy comes set the 1-1. Swinging a tapper down the third base line. DeSantolo charging in. Bare hands, no play anywhere. And everybody's going to advance. Now a back pick to third. A tag applied by Westberg. And they got him. Cantrell dangled off of third base, coming around the bag. DeSantolo had no play at first. Pump faked once, turned back to third, and fired to Jordan Westberg, covering the bag to delete Cantrell. 1 run scores on the play. Kendall came home from third to make it 1-0 Falmouth through 2.5 frames. But a heads-up play by the third baseman Jared DeSantolo prevents any further damage. For Falmouth in the inning, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's Falmouth 1, Hyannis 0 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Adam Hackenberg set to lead off the bottom of the third for Hyannis, as the Harbor Hawks will send up their 8-9-1, much like Falmouth did through their first 3 hitters in the top of the third frame. 1-0 Commodores the score. The lefty Sam Strickland back on the mound for inning number 3. As he kicks, fires to Hackenberg, the catcher. Good breaking ball, drops into the zone for a called strike. So Strickland so far through 2 innings, also faced 7 hitters, was bailed out by a 5-4 double play. He fires home to Hackenberg, swinging a miss at a high fastball at 0-2. Rowdy Jordan absolutely sizzled one right at the third baseman Trey Cruz, but a nice move going to his left, a diving stop, quickly rose to his knees, and a snap throw back to Cantrell at second. Pitch to Hackenberg, swing and a miss. He goes down swinging. Sam Strickland makes it his 3rd strikeout of the night, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the frame. Now that transitions things to Bryce Teodosio. He's back in the lineup after a few days off. Digging in from the right side. One of 5 natural right-handed hitters for Hyannis tonight against the lefty Strickland. The Samford product fires home. Fastball runs outside. So Bryce, 171 coming into the day with 3 RBIs. Offering, swinging a pop-up foul back. One 0-1 the count. 1-1 rather. 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Bryce will dig back into the box. He pinwheels the bat around the zone once. And the lefty Strickland, who's out of the windup, kicks and fires home. Fouled straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Clemson product. Now Bryce has really been starting to figure it out with the bat a little bit over the course of his last few starts. in the last few games that he's recorded at bats, the last time he appeared in a game was against the Bourne Braves. He didn't record an at bat. But against Katuitt, YD twice, as well as Bourne, he's recorded 4 hits in that time. 1-2. Swinging a tip back into the glove, strike 3. So Teodosio strikes out for the second out of the inning. And back-to-back Ks makes it 4 on the night for Strickland.
Well, tough one for Teodosio in that at bat. He fouled off a couple of pitches. He got a piece of one on the inside half that was kept the count at 1-2. And before that last pitch right there, another high fastball up and away from Strickland. Just getting a piece of it, but Nelson with a nice play able to hold on to it.
That flips the lineup back to Jordan Westberg at the top. Knees bent in the right side of the box as he watches one down. But again, dating back to Bryce's last few starts, he had that 2-for-2 day back on June the 30th against Bourne. 1-for-3 against YD, then 1-for-2 against Katuitt. Pitch to Westberg, inside, 2 balls, no strikes. So when he's been in the lineup, he started to figure it out a bit. We know his defense is plus. And the bat's starting to come around as well. With 2 outs in the inning, Westberg has himself a 2-0 count. The Commodores are leading 1-0. The lefty Sam Strickland gets the side, comes home, inside 3-0. Well, Jordan Westberg, what a first few games he's had, like Brendan touched on earlier. In fact, so much so, he was just named the Cape Cod League Coca-Cola Player of the Week. 10 for his first 16, 5 extra base hits, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 3 walks in those 4 games. 3-0, get me over fastball for a called strike.
That line could be the week's worth of games. He did it in just 3. Just unbelievable numbers put up by the shortstop.
Now the 3-1 from Strickland. Ground ball right side. Cantrell to his left. It gets under his glove. Westberg will hit the bag at first. Stop right there. And Hyannis has a runner on board with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, just like that again, Westberg going opposite field this time. Took a fastball on the outside part of the plate. That's where Strickland's lived in this frame in the inning, the top of the 3rd here against, or bottom of the 3rd, I should say, against these Hyannis bats. Westberg again taking one, just poking it to the right side of the field, taking what Strickland gave him.
Well, it got under Cantrell's glove, but it is ruled a hit. So for Westberg, he's now 11 for his first 18. That'll bring up Anthony Servideo. Called strike on a fastball. So Servideo, teammate of Westberg's at school. Or rather, teammate of Westberg's here on Cape Cod. Rivals during their school seasons. As the Ole Miss Rebel looks to advance the Mississippi State Bulldog Westberg, who idles off of first. Strickland throws back to his first baseman, Baron Radcliffe. But Jordan's back in standing up. So Servideo struck out swinging in his first at bat. He's sitting from the left side of the plate with the lefty Sam Strickland out of the stretch. He'll come home. Breaking ball tapped right back to the mound, backhanded by Strickland, tosses over to first, and that'll end the inning. So Westberg comes through with a 2-out single, but can't advance any further. Servideo grounds out to end the inning, and for Hyannis, they get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. It's Falmouth 1, Hyannis 0 through 3 innings. We'll go to the top of the 4th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Tyler Ross, Matthew Nelson, and Austin Langworthy, the 3 due to the plate for Falmouth. With Kyle Murphy, outside of that one run on the infield single, cruising through his first 3 innings, back for the fourth as Tyler Ross swings and misses through a fastball at the top of the zone. So Murphy gave up 3 hits in that top of the 3rd inning, but got some help from his defense as Jared DeSantolo made a really heads-up play to end the inning. Ross swings and loops one into short left field, hugging the line, then fair, a base hit. Ross around the bag at first, he's thinking 2. Throw comes in from Hover on a bounce to Servideo, tag applied, but he slides in safely. So Tyler Ross picks up his 2nd double in as many at-bats, just sliding under the tag head first from Anthony Servideo. And the leadoff man for Falmouth's aboard in the top of the 4th.
Well, that time Ross just blooping one down the left field line, like you mentioned, Lyle, but a good heads-up play from Hover, who came jogging in to corral that ball. Thought Ross might pull up at first, but a good heads-up play to rifle it back into second in a close play with the tag applied just not in time from Servideo.
So with 1 on, nobody down. Brings up the right-handed hitting Matthew Nelson. Infield playing back, we'll see if he opts to bunt. Murphy checks the runner, comes home. Breaking ball, it plunks him on the back. So Nelson sees 1 pitch, draws a hit-by pitch, and he'll cruise down to first, segueing things to Austin Langworthy. So Murphy hits the batter. Second free pass he's given up tonight. The first hit-by pitch is now Hyannis pitching coach Ray Korn's going to make his way out to the mound to have a quick meeting. So that one just kind of got away from him, Brendan. And then an unfortunate situation to Tyler Ross where a piece of soft contact just found some grass down the left field line for a double. So he's worked himself into a little bit of trouble in the 4th, but for the most part, he got out of it in the 3rd.
And getting back to that last hit by pitch for just a second, he hasn't been able to get on top of that curveball just like he's wanted to. And this is probably what the meeting with pitching coach Ray Korn is about right now, is command of that breaking ball. He's been around the zone with his fastball most of the night, but Falmouth starting to rally here in the 4th.
So home plate umpire for tonight, Jason Klump, making his way out to the mound to try to break up the meeting. Korn's still talking to Kyle Murphy. He now nods at the umpire, and he's going to make his walk back. Hackenberg trots back behind the plate. And Langworthy, who's 0 for 1 today with a looking strikeout, digging back in. So Murphy, like Brendan talked about, looking to get on top of his curveball a little bit more. Sometimes when a pitcher just doesn't have it that night, they'll eliminate a pitch, but sometimes they'll just try to work through it. See what Murphy has in store here as he checks the runner, fires home to Langworthy, pushes one foul on a bunt down the left field line. Gets over to the Hyannis dugout, where a couple of the ball girls sit. They'll go retrieve the baseball. DeSantolo back out to his position at 3rd. He's going to play on the infield grass with Langworthy thinking about a bunt. Runners on 1st and 2nd, nobody down. Falmouth leading 1-0 in the top of the 4th. And Kyle Murphy gets into his stretch. He'll get the sign. Sets above the belt. Fires home. Langworthy shows bunt, pulls back. And it's a fastball away. 1-1 the count. Baron Radcliffe awaits on deck. And Hyannis looking to keep Falmouth off the board. The Harbor Hawks offense has had no trouble putting together runs over the last handful of ball games. And so far tonight, they've gotten some gritty pitching performance from Kyle Murphy. Pitch to Langworthy, bunted foul to the left over by the infield grass and just over the right-handed batter's box. So the left-handed hitting Langworthy is going to step out, take a practice swing. With an 0-2 count, he's likely going to wash away the bunt and just swing away. Ross, the runner at 2nd after the leadoff double down the left field line. Nelson at 1st after being hit by a pitch. Ian Fair playing behind the runner, Nelson. No reason to hold him on, with Westberg shifted way to his left up the middle. The 0-2. Inside, gets away from Hackenberg, runner taking off, fire down to 3rd base, and it gets over the glove of DeSantolo on a hop. Now the runner, Ross, is going to cruise home. Throw from Hover. Ross slides in safely, gets in on a hop to Hackenberg, but nowhere near in time. So Falmouth makes it 2-0 as Adam Hackenberg fired one down the 3rd baseline of DeSantolo. It came up just short, hopped over his glove, and trickled into left field, allowing Ross to score from 2nd. So Ross stole 3rd. Then a wild throw from Hackenberg allowed him to get home. Matthew Nelson advanced to 2nd on the play. And now it's 1-2 to Langworthy with Falmouth up by 2. Right-hander Murphy out of Northeastern gets the sign, and he comes home. Breaking ball, chopped toward the right side. Servideo to his left, fields it cleanly as he gobbles it up. Throw to fair in time. So 4-3 put out, puts the first out on the board in the top of the 4th inning. But Nelson advances to third as the hitter Austin Langworthy comes up with a productive out.
Well, Servideo with a bit of a nifty play over there. It looked like a routine ground ball off the bat, but Servideo had to spring up like he was jumping off a trampoline to corral that ball and made a nice throw to Ian Fair over at first. But still just a runner 90 feet away for Falmouth with just one down.
That brings up Barron Radcliffe. Pitch out of the stretch down low. It's 1-0. So Murphy opting to stay in the stretch and just use that slide step delivery, despite just one runner on over at third base and Matthew Nelson. Murphy made 11 starts in his college season. He fires home the 1-0. Breaking ball just misses down. 2 balls, no strikes the count. 5-4 record, ERA just over 4.6. Also struck out 66 guys in his 2019 campaign. Stretch in the 2-0. Swing and a fly ball into medium depth left center field. Hover backs up, moves a bit to his left, makes the catch, but it'll get the job done. Nelson trots home from third, and the third run of the day is on the board for Falmouth. It's 3-0 Commodores on the Barron Radcliffe sacrifice fly to left.
Now Murphy left one out over the plate that time, and Radcliffe just taking what Murphy gave him and lifted one to left field deep enough to score the runner from third, that being Matt Nelson. So Radcliffe helping out the Commodores by way of a productive out and stretching the lead out to 3.
That segues things to Kevin Kendall. He's 1 for 1 with a run scored. Pitch comes in just down low. So Falmouth really executed in their situational hitting this inning. As Murphy works back to the windup, he gets the sign, rocks and fires home, foul back. Tyler Ross, of course, led off the inning with a double. Matt Nelson then hit by a pitch to put runners on first and second with nobody out. Langworthy, of course, couldn't get the bunt down, which was the original plan of execution. As Murphy deals home, good off-speed pitch, it's 1-2. Now Falmouth got a little bit of help from Adam Hackenberg as he left a throw short to Jared DeSantolo. When Tyler Ross stole third, it skipped into left and allowed him to score. But a ground ball to the right side and a sac fly produced the other run. As that pitch comes into Kendall, it's 2-2. So after Ross scored, Nelson advanced from first to second. That ground ball to second base on the right side pushed him up 90 feet to third. And then a sac fly deep enough to score him makes it 3-0 Commodores. Breaking ball from Murphy misses down and away, and the count swells. So Falmouth has put up 2 in the top of the 4th. They had 1 in the top of the 3rd frame. And Murphy's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Here's the offering. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets by Hackenberg to the backstop. Kendall running to first, and there's no throw. So Murphy strikes out Kendall, but as the ball gets by Hackenberg, he reaches first, and the inning continues, bringing up the leadoff man, Hayden Cantrell.
Well, not only does Murphy now have to work for 4 outs technically in this inning, striking out Kendall, but he's now down at first. He's got to face the leadoff man, Cantrell, who was absolutely no easy out at the top of this Falmouth order.
So Cantrell, the switch hitting second baseman. He's 1 for 2. He was the man that was nabbed out at third base to end the previous frame as DeSantolo fired one to Murphy on a little bit of a back pick. Runner takes off, pitch from Murphy, throw down to Hackenberg. It's in time, tag applied by Westberg, they got him. An absolute strike from Hackenberg behind the plate, a bullet to Westberg down at second base. The throw easily beat the runner Kendall there, and the tag was dropped down in time to retire him. So Kendall's at bat shortened. It will continue when Falmouth comes up in the top of the 5th inning. Meanwhile, for the top of the 4th, the Commodores put together 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Falmouth 3, Hyannis nothing through 3.5 frames, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis sends their heart of the lineup to the plate to begin the bottom of the fourth against the lefty Sam Strickland. It's Hunter Goodman set to lead things off, followed by Jared DeSantolo and Trevor Hauver. Goodman into the box as the lefty Strickland fires home. It's a fastball outside. So Goodman struck out swinging. He was the second punch-out victim of Strickland. So far on the night, he's got 4 punch-outs. 1-0. Swinging a pop-up foul out of play on the right side. Strickland's already faced these Hyannis Harbor Hawks before. In that decision, or in that game, he went 4 innings, 2 earned runs on 3 hits. He walked a pair, struck out a trio. Pitch to Goodman, breaking ball, ripped down the left field line, foul. Strickland left that one inside, but hanging up like nobody's business. But Goodman just a little bit out in front, pulling it, taking Jad Gassman out of the third baseman's coaching box and down toward the bullpen.
Gassman cracking a smile back toward the Hyannis dugout. That'll wake you up.
1-2 from Strickland. Swing and a miss by Goodman. Tag applied by the catcher, Nelson, and he's retired for the second time in as many tries. 5th strikeout of the night for the left-hander, and that'll segue things to Jared DeSantolo with 1 down. So DeSantolo now the hitter. He looks to play some very, very slight catch-up with Falmouth right fielder Zach Deloach. So Deloach once again currently sitting at 368. DeSantolo at 367. Lefty-lefty matchup set to take place. Pitch from Strickland. Misses outside. Count runs to 1-0. DeSantolo edges out Deloach in the hit category by just 1. 22-21 as of now. The pitch comes in. Fastball called for a strike down Broadway. So it's been pretty neck and neck between the two. Now, to be fair, Deloach has played 3 less games. 1-1. Breaking ball way up. Missed upstairs with that one as it didn't bend, and it's 2-1. So Deloach has the higher average playing less games, but DeSantolo with more hits. Each have 1 home run. Deloach with 5 extra RBIs, 9 to DeSantolo's 4. 2-1. Breaking ball, that misses low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Now walks, it's pretty much a one-horse race between the two. DeSantolo 15 walks to Deloach's 6. We know Jared can walk at a pretty high rate. Offering, called strike on a fastball, count runs full. DeSantolo came into the day ranked tied for 3rd in the Cape Cod League in walks, right along with his teammate Trevor Hauver at 15 each. Strickland gets the sign on the mound. The lefty fires the 3-2. Swing and a chopper up the middle. Cantrell to his right. He can't make the play. It skips into center field. So Jared DeSantolo on with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. And just like that, he's past Zach Deloach in batting average.
Well, DeSantolo waited until it was a full count to get a piece of 1, but anyway, he can get aboard to do it. That's what DeSantolo's going to do, and that's what he's done the entire season. Sent the 3-2 inside fastball back up the middle, a bouncer past the extended glove of Cantrell, who just couldn't get a piece of it. So DeSantolo picking up the 3rd hit of the night for the Hawks.
So that'll bring up Trevor Hauver. But as things now update, with DeSantolo's hit, he's up to 377. Lefty's offering to Hauver as the left-handed hitting Sun Devil takes one for a strike. Now to scoreboard watch a little bit. Wyatt Young is 2 for 3 today for YD, so he's sitting at 382 as YD trails 7-0 to Wareham. As Hauver breaks his bat, sends one on a hop to the right side. Cantrell flips the second for 1, going to his left, relay back to first. Double play. Hauver can't believe it. So Cantrell with a play moving to his left toward the right field grass. Spinned and through to second base to Kendall for 1. The relay back to first. It looked like Hauver beat it by almost a full step, but nabbed out at first, and that's ruled a double play. So that ends the bottom of the 4th. A 4-6-3 twin killing allows the lefty Strickland to face the minimum. And just like that, Hyannis is off the base paths in the bottom of the 4th. So Strickland's thrown 4 scoreless frames for Hyannis in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on. It's Falmouth 3, Harbor Hawks nothing. We'll be back for the top of the 5th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Top of the fifth inning here from McKeon Park. The Falmouth Commodores back to the dish, looking to extend upon a 3-0 lead against the right-hander Kyle Murphy. And for Falmouth, it'll be the top of the order: Hayden Cantrell, Tim Tawa, and Zach DeLoach. When we saw Cantrell just an inning ago, his at-bat cut short as Murphy fires a fastball high and wide. It's 1-0. Kevin Kendall was gunned down trying to swipe second base to end the last frame. So Cantrell recording another official plate appearance here as he watches a fastball upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Now Murphy surrendered 3 runs on 5 hits to this point as we move along in the ball game. Fires a fastball. That one catches the outside corner. Cantrell to this point, 1 for 2 on his evening. He singled back in the third inning but was stranded at third base. Murphy into his motion on 1-1. Fastball that missed downstairs. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Murphy trying to battle his way back. Has not surrendered a walk yet, but has issued a hit by pitch as this one is roped in the air to left center. Hoover moving back on it, reaches up and makes the grab over the shoulder. An impressive play by Trevor Hoover, moving back into his left for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Tim Tawa.
And Trevor makes a nice play on that one. Came in about just a step. Ball started to tail on him a little bit. And as he's running to his left toward the gap, he reaches up and just snags it out of midair last second. So a nice play by the left fielder for the first out.
So Tim Tawa steps in 0 for 2, trying to change his night around. A couple of flyouts on the board for him thus far, seeing Murphy for the 3rd time. Fastball runs upstairs at the letters. It's 1-0. With some loose stretching going on down in the Hyannis bullpen down the left field line. Murphy fires a 1-0. That one misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Completely silent crickets down the right field line in the Falmouth pen. Sam Strickland has been cruising in the ballgame tonight so far. Murphy's 2-0 offering. That one inside. Tawa shrugging the shoulders to avoid being plunked. 3 balls, no strikes. Murphy into his motion, a 3-0 pitch. Fastball, that one at the knees, a called strike to make it 3-1. So the second straight hitter that he's worked with in a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Very quick pace to him, it does Murphy have, as he misses with a fastball upstairs. And that's the second walk surrender to the ball game. He had walked DeLoach back in the 3rd inning. Now surrenders one to Tawa here in the 5th. So 1 on and 1 out for the man who drew the first one, Zach DeLoach.
Yeah, so Murphy loses Tawa there, and now he's going to have a tough out with DeLoach coming to the plate. But the battle continues, and again, maybe with some scoreboard watching as well, because coming into the day, Wyatt Young was 3rd in the league at 369. With a couple hits, he sits ahead of both of them as of this moment.
So Murphy forced to work back from the stretch. He turns and fires to first. Ian Fair applies the tag, but late as Tawa dives back head first. The DeLoach steps back in. Falmouth hungry for some more runs here in the 5th inning. This ball game with a pretty quick pace to it. Murphy deals a breaking ball that gets off the glove of Hackenberg to his left, scampering up to second base. Tawa, he'll take a turn there as Hackenberg goes to retrieve it in foul ground. So Hackenberg and Murphy not exactly on the same page with some of these breaking balls tonight. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Lyle Murphy just not getting over the top of that breaking ball like he wants to.
It hasn't quite been there, but credit to him, as it's one of his primary pitches. Not quite on point tonight. He still kept himself in the ball game, and in fact thrown a pretty nice gem to this point.
1-0 comes in. Fastball popped up, and it's fouled over the press box, out of play. That one sent on a rope back toward the parking lot. Count evens a ball and a strike.
And to his credit, he's only given up 5 hits. There hasn't been a lot of hard contact put on against him. I mean, remember, Trey Cruz's RBI hit was an infield single that squiggled down the 3rd base line. The double from Tyler Ross was just a loop shot down the left field line.
Murphy into his motion, a 1-1. Over the top of a breaking ball is DeLoach. Waved and missed out of the ball, and 2 strikes the count with a runner in scoring position, Tim Tawa. Sun's starting to set here for McKeon Park just a little bit. About half the field still covered by the sunlight. Murphy, a long stare down toward Hackenberg, going through the signs. Now he brings the tan glove set at the chest. A look to second, now a 1-2. Fastball in the air to deep right field. Deloach sending back Jordan, and that ball is gone. Zach Deloach picking up RBIs 10 and 11 on the summer, his second round tripper of the summer. And that puts Falmouth up 5-0 here in the fifth.
Well, that's really the hardest piece of contact Murphy's given up today. He's really pinpointed that fastball pretty well to that point, but just leaves one out over the plate. Deloach absolutely turned on it. That was a no-doubter over the old scoreboard and deep out into the right field trees to extend the Falmouth lead.
5 runs on 6 hits for the Falmouth offense. New hitter Trey Cruz steps in. He drops down a bunt down the third baseline. A squiggler. Murphy off the mound to get it. An off-balance throw. It's going to be way late and takes fair off the bag. Cruz was well past first base anyway. He had beaten it out. So an infield single for Trey Cruz. Hit number 7 on the board. When we talk about Falmouth being hungry for some more runs here in the fifth, they picked up a pair on the long ball from Zach Deloach. That ball was hammered out of here.
And it got out of here in a hurry, too. Rowdy Jordan kind of just took a couple steps back and stared and watched it go.
And he had absolutely no chance. All he could do was be a spectator. As in steps Tyler Ross with a man aboard. He watches the breaking ball down and away. So the threat continues for Falmouth here in the fifth inning. They've scored in each of the last 3 frames. And looking to tack on here in the top of the fifth from McKeon. Spinning the throw back to first. Tag applied late. Back in head first is Cruz. Now there's some action down in the Hyannis bullpen. It's a right-hander loosening up. See how long Chad Gassman opts to go with the Northeastern righty Murphy on the hill. Comes home with a 1-0. Cut and a miss. High off-speed pitch. Ross offered at it, came up empty. And the count evens at 1-1. Cruz slowly gathering a lead off of first. Fair holding him on tightly. Murphy comes set with a 1-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Again, skips past Hackenberg. Corrals it down the third baseline, but no throw to second as Cruz is in safely. So another runner advances into scoring position for the Commodores. All of a sudden, Falmouth's starting to figure out and crack the code to Kyle Murphy on the hill.
Well, this is their 3rd time through the order, so they're maybe starting to pick up his pace a little bit.
So a 2-1 count to Ross. Murphy a look to second, now comes home. Breaking ball again outside. He just hasn't been able to hit his spots with that breaking pitch tonight. 3-1 to Ross. The DH tonight for Falmouth, 2 for 2. He's doubled twice. Also came around to score one of the 5 runs up on the board to this point. Murphy trying to limit damage in the fifth as he looks back to second. Watches Cruz back to the bag. Count still stands at 3-1 as Ross waves the bat toward the right-hander on the hill as he comes set. Murphy's ready. Here's his offering on 3-1. It's outside. That's ball 4. So that'll put men on first and second for Matt Nelson. The 3rd walk of the night surrendered by Kyle. And now Chad Gassman's on his way to the hill. So this looks like it might be the evening for Kyle Murphy. Rest of the infield minus Jared DeSantolo and Adam Hackenberg joining in with Gassman. Now DeSantolo trots in. And Lyle, for an offense for Hyannis that we've been so used to and accustomed to seeing over the past couple games, rack up the runs in bunches and early in games at that. They've fallen silent to the tune of no runs on just 3 hits so far. Sam Strickland has done a phenomenal job. So Gassman makes the signal toward the bullpen. It's going to be a right-hander coming on for Hyannis. We'll have the pitching change on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We bring you back to McKeon Park off the pitching change in the top of the fifth. It's the Commodores 5, the Harbor Hawks nothing. And it's Tyler Drabeck out of the bullpen for the fourth time in a Harbor Hawk uniform this summer. He'll face Matt Nelson. He'll be the first man to greet him. Drabeck inherits a one-out situation here in the fifth with 2 runners aboard. Falmouth has already struck for 2 on the long ball, courtesy of Zach DeLoach. Drabeck just trying to limit the damage from these Commodores here in the fifth inning and get Hyannis back to the plate. First pitch to Nelson, fastball that runs outside. It's 1-0. So the book not closed yet on Kyle Murphy. Both runners aboard are his responsibility. He lasted 4 1/3 in the ball game, gave up 7 hits, walked 3, and struck out 5. So Drabeck, a right-hander, on in relief. 1-0 count here to Nelson. He comes home. Fastball not at the knees to even the count, 1-1. And Drabeck on the season. He's made 3 appearances to this point, this being his 4th. 0-1 record with a 9 ERA flat. He's only worked 4 innings, so a rather small sample size. Struck out 3 and walked 2 and has surrendered 5 hits to this point. Falmouth has racked up 7 in the ball game. Looking to add on here in the fifth at McKeon. 1-1. Breaking ball slapped in the air to center, ranging back after Teodosio. He'll make the grab on the move. So that's the second out of the inning. Both runners back to their respective bags. So Teodosio getting a great break on that one as that one was sent into the alley off the bat of Nelson. So 2 down for Austin Langworthy.
That one looked like it had a chance to fall in the gap, but Teodosio, like you said, a good jump, read the angle well, and makes the play, moving to his right into the gap in left center. So he helps Drabeck out for the second out of the inning.
So Langworthy steps in. He's 0 for 2. He's got a runner in scoring position, that being Trey Cruz. He singled to back up the Zach DeLoach home run that kept the threat going for Falmouth. Breaking ball missed low from Drabeck. It's 1-0. Last time Tyler took the mound for Hyannis was July the 5th here at McKeon Park against the Katuitt Kettleers as part of a 16-4 loss. Came on in what was a mop-up role, but he went 2 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Comes home with a 1-0, it misses inside. Trying to paint a fastball in the inside corner, just missed with it. And in that same out against Katuitt for Drabeck, walked 1 and struck out 2 as well. Drabeck more of a pitch to contact guy. Comes home with a 2-0 to Langworthy. Another breaking ball knocked down by Hackenberg in between the legs. Cruz thought about an advance at second base, but decided to stay put. With a count 3 balls and no strikes, Drabeck 1 pitch away from loading up the bases again. Right-hander out of the stretch, comes home with a 3-0. Breaking ball, that dropped in. And right at the knee level of Langworthy, 3-1. Hyannis outfield playing a bit back with 2 outs. Trevor Hobbers had to make a couple of plays in the alley moving back to his left, so he shaded a bit back. Drabeck 3-1. Fouled straight into the screen. The count fills 3 balls, 2 strikes. Drabeck tried to go up the ladder and stuff one at the top of the zone. Langworthy just getting a piece of it. This has been a bit of a lengthy top of the 5th inning for Falmouth. This is the 7th man to the plate for the Commodores here in the inning. Drabeck trying to make sure that streak ends there. Here comes a payoff pitch. Both runners go in the air to left field, right at Hopper. He's got it lined up. He'll make the grab, and that ends the inning. So Falmouth sends 7 to the plate. They pick up a pair of runs on the home run, courtesy of Zach DeLoach. They stretch the lead out to 5-0. Hyannis back to the plate, trying to strike back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Hyannis in the bottom of the 5th inning. And they've come to the plate with some work to do. They trailed things 5-0. Hyannis has already worked into the bullpen, or should I say Falmouth has worked into the Hyannis bullpen. Strickland, first pitch of the inning, a chopper to shortstop to Kendall. Comes in on the infield grass. Strong throw to first. Gets Ian fair by about a step. And he's out number 1. So Fair going after the first pitch of the inning, wasting no time, sending a chopper out to Kendall. Double pumped with it, but getting Fair by about a good step, and that'll bring in Rowdy Jordan. As I mentioned, these Falmouth bats have struck early. 5 runs on 7 hits. They've worked into the Hyannis bullpen. On the flip side for the Commodores, a different story. Sam Strickland has been absolutely cruising, working into his 5th inning as he pumps in a strike to Rowdy Jordan. It's 0-1. And Rowdy Jordan was robbed in his first plate appearance of a base hit. But Trey Cruz making an outstanding lunging, diving play. The fastball misses outside from Strickland. The count pulls even. Cruz laid out to his left, hit the deck, reeled the ball in, got to his knees, and fired back to second to double off Trevor Hoffer to end the inning. That was back in the 2nd frame. Strickland comes home with a 1-1. Back goes flying down the third baseline. Chad Gassman getting out of the way. And that's about the 4th time we've seen it from Rowdy Jordan alone this season. He's lost a bat in the middle of a plate appearance as Gassman will go retrieve it and hand it back to his right-handed hitter.
And immediately his college teammate Jordan Westberg's going to walk out with some pine tar for him and his bat. I just don't know what it is with him. Maybe he's got a loose grip on the bat, which is good. You don't want to over grip the bat and hold it too tight. Somehow it comes flying out of his hands like nobody's business. We saw it twice in one at bat at YD. You remember that?
We thought that was crazy. But then we saw it a couple more times in the few games that followed that night. So for Rowdy Jordan, this is about the 4th time we've seen it. Jordan Westberg, like you mentioned, giving him some pine tar, saying, hey, buddy, you could use some of this. So he applies it to the handle of the bat. He's got some on his gloves now. Strickland fires a 1-2. It's a fastball that's fouled away off to the right, off the inside part of the bat. So we held on to it that time. So the count will still stay at 1-2, but it's just something you don't see very often, and it's been a trend for Hyannis this season. Matter of fact, it's been a trend for a couple of teams Hyannis has faced this season. 1-2 comes in. It's a fastball that runs wide. 2-2 the count. And for Rowdy, trying to hang on to the bat and pick up some hits. Came in tonight at 103. He's down to 100 on the nose. The 2-2 from Strickland. Fastball cut and a miss, strike 3. So Jordan goes down. He's punched out for the 2nd out of the frame. That'll bring up Adam Hackenberg, who's also 0 for 1. He was a strikeout victim.
Well, Rowdy just comes up empty right there, swinging after it. We'll see what Hackenberg's got in store. But yeah, Hyannis going to have to find a way to start putting something together off Strickland. Again, that Falmouth bullpen, still nobody getting loose.
First pitch to Hackenberg. He goes after it, pops it up foul right side out of play. Well, these Harbor Hawks have piled up just 3 hits to this point. And again, a team coming off an outing at Spillane Field in Wareham that put up 17 and 10 runs to go with it. They've fallen silent halfway through the ballgame here at McKeon as Hackenberg pops up in 0-1. On the infield, ranging in, Cantrell and Radcliffe converging. It's going to be Cantrell to call everyone off, make the grab to end the inning, and that'll do it for Hyannis in the 5th. So 3 up, 3 down for Hyannis. They go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Commodores 5, Harbor Hawks nothing. Top of the 6th coming up from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Falmouth back to the plate in the top of the 6th inning. Currently owners have a 5-0 lead on top of the Harbor Hawks here from McKeon Park. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Commodores to the plate. Barron Radcliffe, Kevin Kendall, and Hayden Cantrell against the right-hander Tyler Drabick back for his first full inning in relief. First pitch from the Kent State right-hander. A bounding ball down the first baseline, foul past the first base bag as Fair scooped it up. So for Hyannis, that's not what we're accustomed to seeing out of this offense that had been so potent the past couple of games and has risen up the Cape Cod League rankings. Drabick into his motion in 0-1. Breaking ball just sits off the outside corner to even the count to Radcliffe. And again, Hyannis just trying to get the bats going. Sam Strickland, to his credit, he's been phenomenal tonight. Surrendered just 3 hits to this point as Drabick comes home with a 1-1. It's a fastball in the dirt. On the flip side for these Commodores, it's been a bit of a up and down season for them offensive-wise. Last night, no different. 14-0 defeat at the hands of the Bourne Braves. 2-1 fastball from Drabick picked up the outside corner. Counts even at 2-2. But Falmouth just 8th in the league in runs scored. And put up just 89 to this point, but they have jumped on Hyannis early, scoring in the last 3 times they've been to the plate. Drabick's 2-2 offering just chopped foul behind the dish as Hackenberg scoops it up. Radcliffe just throwing the head of the bat out there to try and get a piece to stay alive, and he'll see another offering. Drabick stares down Hackenberg. He's got a sign, comes home with a 2-2. Breaking ball outside, count swells full. And for Tyler on the season, he's walked just 2 in his 3 appearances. Worked into his 4th. Hasn't surrendered a walk yet in this appearance. 1 pitch away from doing so to Radcliffe as he comes home with a payoff. It's outside, ball 4. So the 3rd walk of the season surrendered by the right-hander. That sends Radcliffe down to first, and Falmouth again has got something going here to lead off the 6th. That'll give way to Kevin Kendall, who was 1 for 2, but has reached base twice on a drop third strike. He was thrown out at second base. That was back in the 4th inning. That was to end the frame, stranding Hayden Cantrell at the dish. Kendall checked his swing as a fastball at the top of the zone, appealed down to first. He went around. But home plate umpire Jason Klump calling it a strike regardless. Kendall, a 179 hitter entering the ball game tonight. He's got a runner aboard at first, nobody away in the Falmouth half of the 6th. Taking off for second base was Radcliffe, but it was tapped foul at the plate by Kendall. Just off to the right. Drabick trying to sneak a breaking ball inside, just getting it off the bottom part of the handle was Kendall. So Radcliffe forced back to first, and Drabick's working with a 0-2 count. Some light tossing down the left field line again in the Hyannis bullpen. They've been staying busy down there. Kyle Murphy lasting 4 1/3 in his outing tonight, and Tyler Drabick has been on in relief ever since. Looks back toward Radcliffe at first. Now he comes set. Kicks and fires his 0-2. It's outside. Got off the glove of Hackenberg, deflected back into his left, but no advance for the runner at first base. So 1-2 as Drabick kicks some dirt around on the hill. And this Hyannis staff trying to stifle the Commodores' bats going forward and give themselves a chance as we move toward the late innings. Drabick's 1-2 offering. Breaking ball just down and away. Hackenberg trying to hold the spot for a second, but Jason Klump not giving Drabick the benefit of the doubt. Count moves to 2-2. With Radcliffe not even moving from his lead at first base. He waves some bugs out of his face. Spinning the throw back to first, Drabick over to Ian Fair. Tag applied, not in time, as diving in head first was Radcliffe. And Falmouth has been doing it from all parts of the lineup tonight. Virtually everyone has reached base at least once, with the exception of Austin Langworthy. Batting out at the 7th spot. He's the lone man not to reach base. This one in the air to left field, sending Hoffer back toward the wall. He turns around and makes the catch over the shoulder. And to extend the glove up above the cap, he made the grab. Crossed over as he retreated back toward the wall and holding Radcliffe at first base and taking a base hit away from Kevin Kendall. So Hayden Cantrell will step in with 1 on, 1 out. Tyler Drabick inducing some fly ball contact there, helped out by his left fielder. And Hoffer's been busy out there in left field. He's had a couple of plays ranging into the alley. That one moving straight back to the wall. Cantrell steps in for the 4th time tonight here in the 6th inning. Drabick's first offering, fastball roped past the runner Radcliffe into right field, a base hit. Radcliffe hesitated off the bag at first a bit to avoid being hit. That would have been an out. But Cantrell is aboard at first. He's got his second base hit of the evening. So 2 on now for Tim Tawa, batting from the right side. And getting back to Drabick's lines for just a second. He had surrendered 5 hits through his first 3 outings. 3 in his recent appearance on July the 5th to Katuitt. 1 to YD July the 3rd and 1 at the Katuitt Kettleers Ballpark on July the 1st as we flip the calendar month. Not a guy that goes a long distance out of the bullpen, but Chad Gassman opting to work with him here in the 6th inning. First offering to Tao as he squares to bunt and pulls back, but it's a called strike at the letters. It's 0-1. So Tao a few ticks under the Mendoza line at 189 entering tonight, but he's picked up a walk tonight to reach base once. Came around to score. Trying to pick up the average a little bit. 0 for 2 with the addition to the walk. He ropes one on a high hop to Westberg to second to Servideo for 1 on to Ian Fair at first. In time, a double play, and that ends the inning. Just what the doctor ordered for Tyler Drabick. 6-4-3. The Hyannis infield rolls it up. And it's still Commodores 5, Harbor Hawks nothing. Hyannis back to the dish in the bottom of the frame when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bryce Tito set to climb into the box to lead things off for the Hyannis offense in the bottom of the 6th. Still a long way to go in the ball game, but some work to do for this Hyannis bats. Trailing the Commodores 5-0 here at McKeon Park. Sam Strickland still going strong as Tito swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Strickland to this point in the ball game has been virtually untouchable. Surrendered just 3 hits, sporadic base knocks over the course of the ball game. Hyannis yet to mount a real threat against the southpaw. 1-0 comes in. Tito over the top of it. Beg your pardon, now 0-2. Strickland has worked 5 magnificent innings. Walked just 1 and struck out 6 in the process. And he's got Teodosio in an 0-2 count here. So the Sanford southpaw eyeing number 7 as he's into the windup is 0-2. Teodosio swings and lines it over the glove of Radcliffe at first down the right field line. Teodosio around first. He's thinking 2. As Deloach scoops it up and fires it back into the infield. Bryce Teodosio's got himself a leadoff double. So the Clemson outfield piecing one up on the outside corner, taking it to the opposite field as the line drive hugged the line, rolled all the way to the corner, and no problem for the speedy outfielder to trot into second base. So that is the start of the inning that you wanted if you're the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And it gives way to who else but Jordan Westberg at the top of the order. 1 for 2 on these evenings so far. Came into tonight at 625. That average has dropped just a little bit to 611. But still just an absolutely remarkable plateau that Westberg has set for himself to start off his Hyannis summer. First pitch from Strickland, a fastball that runs away. It's 1-0. And perhaps the thing that's most impressive about Westberg is the fact that he didn't put up much power numbers at school. He had just 6 home runs in all of his 2019 campaign with the Mississippi State Ball Club. 3 already here on the summer as he watches a fastball at the knees, a called strike. The count evens. So when you think about Westberg not really going yard many times with the Bulldogs in 2019, for him to come onto the Cape with guns ablazing like this, it's really been a sight to behold. Strickland comes home with a 1-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, bounces past Nelson and off to his right. Teodosio up to third base. So Hyannis perhaps with something going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They've got a runner 90 feet away. First time a Hyannis runner has reached third base tonight. They had 1 runner back at second base in Trevor Hauver in the 2nd inning. That was as far as they got around the base paths. So the first time Strickland has really been forced to work in this ball game. 2-1 to Westberg. Here it comes. Fastball. Westberg ropes it into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. And he picks up an RBI, scoring Teodosio. And that makes things 5-1. So ever so slowly, Hyannis chipping away at the lead. Jordan Westberg picks up his 8th RBI of the summer. He's got himself his 2nd hit of the night. That'll bring up Anthony Servideo.
The second baseman for the University of Mississippi, number 13, Anthony Servideo.
So right on cue, Jordan Westberg just continues the hot streak. Another 2-hit evening. Every game he's played for Hyannis, he's picked up at least 2 hits, and the trend continues as he leads off of first base. 1 on, nobody out now for Servideo. Lefty-lefty matchup as Strickland pumps in a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. So Servideo trying to follow his college rival, Jordan Westberg, at the top of the order. Teammates here for the summer in 2019. Westberg takes off for second. Nelson gets up and fires down. The throw is going to be in time to get Westberg. They nabbed him. Strickland offered a high fastball to Servideo. He didn't go after it. Westberg looked like he got a pretty decent jump off the bag at first, but Nelson fires a laser down to second base, and the tag from Kendall in time. So that erases the Hyannis base runner. And Servideo in a 2-strike count as Strickland winds and deals. Breaking ball just downstairs. Couldn't get Servideo to go after it. Count resides at a ball and 2 strikes with Hunter Goodman on deck. So Strickland trying to settle down. 1 run on 5 hits for Hyannis, trying to claw their way back into the ball game as a fastball downstairs forces the count to 2-2. Southpaw into his motion. 2-2 offering, breaking ball in the dirt, and the count runs full to Servideo. So Anthony just a 170 hitter for Hyannis, batting here with nobody on, 1 out. But in his college season, hit 286 as part of the Ole Miss Rebels. Strickland fires a full count pitch. It's slapped foul back to the netting. Count stays at 3-2. Servideo, a leadoff hitter by trade, primarily placed at the top of the order in his college season. Picked up 24 RBIs, racked up 58 hits and 203 at-bats. So he's a high-volume guy at the top of the order as he awaits the next 3-2. Foul tipped into the mid of Nelson, strike 3. So Servideo goes down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight, and that'll give way to Hunter Goodman with 2 down. And Hunter tonight, a pair of strikeouts on the ledger for the Memphis Tiger as well. Strickland has been racking up the Ks in bunches. Up to 7 on the night. Worked 5 2/3 innings. First pitch to Hunter. Ground ball. Worm burner to short. Scooped up by Kendall. Takes a couple shuffles in. Throw to first in time to get Goodman, and that retires the side. So Goodman 0 for 3. Kendall retires him on the short ground ball. And that'll do it for Hyannis. But they do plate 1 slowly but surely trying to make their way back. Commodores 5, Harbor Hawks 1. As we head to the 7th inning here from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Zach Deloach striding into the left-handed batter's box to kick off things in the top of the 7th. This game has been absolutely cruising along as we are already into the later frames of the ball game. Tyler Drabick back to the hill for Hyannis. 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Commodores lineup set to go. Hyannis struck for 1 in the bottom of the 6th to make things a bit more interesting. 5-1 as the first pitch from Drabick foul tipped into the mid of Hackenberg. It's 0-1. A double from Bryce Teodosio to lead off the inning, followed by a single from Jordan Westberg, who just continues to hit. Drabick into his motion, fires an 0-1, cut and miss on an off-speed delivery by Deloach. Count 0-2. Westberg has now climbed his average up to .632. And wow, you laugh at that number because it just seems so unrealistic, but he's been absolutely on a roll as a 1-2 or an 0-2 fastball misses down. The count now resides at 1-2. And Deloach, in his own right, has had himself quite an evening. Picked up a pair of RBIs on a long ball back in the 5th. A 1-2 from Drabick. Breaking ball misses downstairs, 2-2. And Westberg, the shortstop, is kicking some dirt around there at his defensive position, but with the bat, he has been absolutely mesmerizing. Deloach stares down Drabick on the hill. He waits his 2-2 offering. Fastball low, the count swells full. And you just marvel at how somebody is able to come up here on Cape Cod in a league as prestigious as this, which is supposed to be a pitcher's league, and just continue to rack up the hits in bunches. Drabick's full count offering. Another swing and a drive from Deloach. He's done it again. Jordan back to the wall. He watches it sail. The second home run for Zach Deloach in as many plate appearances extends the lead right back to 5. It's 6-1 Falmouth. Deloach takes an inside fastball from Drabick and deposits it over the right field wall. So just as quickly as Hyannis struck back, Falmouth resets the lead to 5.
Think he knew it on that one? I mean, he must have stood there and watched it for 5 or 6 seconds before he even started walking down the first baseline. He just jumped all over a Drabick offering, basically the same spot as he hit his first one. Again, getting out of here in a hurry to extend the Falmouth lead.
So Chad Gassman once again has emerged from the dugout. He's taken the ball away from the Kent State right-hander. Another pitching change on hand here from McKeon Park. 6-1 Falmouth when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Chad Gassman turns to right-hander out of Florida. Nolan Crisp off the pitching change in the top of the 7th. Falmouth up by a score of 6-1 as the first man to greet the new pitcher Crisp, Trey Cruz, as he steps into the left-handed batter's box. Nolan making his 7th appearance on the summer as Cruz takes his first pitch to left field right at Hover on a line. He makes the grab for the first out. So right away, Crisp paying dividends out of the bullpen, inducing some contact. But Hover having no problem to retire Trey Cruz, and that'll bring up Tyler Ross.
He's been busy out there. For Hover, that's 5 putouts since the 4th inning for him. He's also involved on that Tyler Ross double in the 2nd. A nice play there for the first out.
So Ross steps in 2-2, a walk as well as he takes a look at a strike on the inside corner. And for Nolan, he enters tonight a record of 1-0, a 7.5 ERA in 6 appearances. Waving a miss from Ross and an 0-1 breaking pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Nolan's worked 12 innings on the summer, has struck out 12 and walked 7. And has surrendered 12 hits as well. Last time we saw Nolan, July the 6th, in what was a Game 1 victory, 6-4 over the Bourne Braves as part of a weekend doubleheader. Nolan picked up the win in that ball game. He tossed 3 innings. 3 innings of 1-hit ball, that is. The 0-2 on the way. Fastball that misses just low. A ball and 2 strikes to the DH, Tyler Ross. Walked 1 and struck out 2 in that outing against Bourne as well. The time before that, he was on the mound at Red Wilson Field July the 4th. The wave and a miss from Ross over the top of a breaking ball. Hackenberg gathers and fires to first to retire Ross, and there's 2 down. That'll give thanks to Matt Nelson with nobody on, 2 away. Getting back to Crisp for just a second. It was a bit of a rocky outing at YD on Independence Day, but he bounced back nicely, as I just mentioned, in that game against Bourne. Trying to keep Falmouth off the board any further here in the 7th. Second home run of the night for Zach DeLoach has us sitting where we are at. It's at 6-1. The breaking ball missed upstairs. And Nelson on the night has yet to record a hit, but has been aboard courtesy of a hit by pitch as he slaps one foul down the third base side. Down toward the Hyannis bullpen. One of the arms will go retrieve it on top of the rubber. And something to note about Nolan, he's a very quick worker. Already set on the rubber, cutting a miss again from Nelson. He's down 1-2. He gets the ball and he is ready to go. Nelson taking a step out to try and slow down the right-hander for just a second. Trying to catch his breath. 1-2 with 2 down. Here's the offering. Breaking ball up high. Count levels at 2-2. It's deuces wild here in the top of the 7th. 6 runs on 9 hits for the visiting Commodores. 1 on just 5 for the hometown Harbor Hawks. Nolan's 2-2. Fastball upstairs. Count runs full again. Now, walks have been a slight issue for Nolan on the summer so far. Piled up 7. Trying to set down the Commodores here in the inning. The 3-2 is inside, and it looks like it got Nelson on the sleeve. So he'll head down to first on the hit batsman. Second of the night surrendered by the Hyannis staff. And second to Nelson himself. And that'll bring up Austin Langworthy with 2 away. So Nolan just trying to sneak an off-speed pitch inside and pick up strike 3, but instead got a piece of Nelson. So no one awaits Langworthy to step in, right arm dangling. Now he gets a sign from Hackenberg as he comes set. Fires home a fastball that runs wide. It's 1-0. So these Hyannis bats, when they come back to the plate in the bottom of the 7th, no strangers to playing catch-up, but a lot of work to do as they trail by 5 as Crisp misses with another fastball off the outer edge of the plate. It's 2-0. And they've been able to make games interesting down the stretch over the past week and a half or so. In a game on the road last week against Orleans where they were down 7-0 at one point and ended up making it a 7-5 ball game. That wound up going final. 2-0 fastball picked up the outside corner. That runs things to 2-1 to the hitter Langworthy. Langworthy, the only man in the Falmouth lineup not to reach base yet tonight. He's 0 for 3 to this point. 2-1. Chris misses outside again. 3 balls and 1 strike. A bit of a sigh in frustration as he couldn't spot up the fastball in the outside corner. Westberg shaded a bit toward the second base bag. The 3-1 comes in. It's a blooper over Westberg's head into left center, a base hit. Auber scoops it up in left field. Stumbling around the bag at second was Nelson. He'll pull up there. So a couple runners on and 2 outs, and that extends the inning for Barron Radcliffe.
Right on cue for Langworthy. He picks up that first hit. And now, like you said, Brendan, every Falmouth hitter in the lineup tonight's reached base. That one just a flare shot over Westberg into the gap in left center. And it extends the inning for Falmouth, looking to tack on, already leading by 5.
So Barron Radcliffe steps in from the left side. He's got a man in scoring position and a chance to pick up an RBI. Falmouth has reached double digits in the hit column. They've got 10 to this point. Fastball's in for a strike from Crisp on the other edge. It's 0-1. No one trying to evade any more Falmouth trouble here in the top of the 7th inning. Right-hander comes set, fires home. Radcliffe swings and sends it on a line into left center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Coming around third in to score is Matt Nelson. The throw into third base is going to be offline. As sliding in safely is Langworthy. And an RBI single off the bat of Barron Radcliffe extends the Falmouth lead to 7-1.
Well, Radcliffe just goes the other way as well, much like Langworthy did, although hits that one a little bit harder, got a little bit further into the gap. Let Langworthy go from first to third, and just like that, the Commodores have really taken the ball the other way nicely, and as a result, they've put up runs in 4 of their last 5 frames.
So in steps another left-handed hitter, Kevin Kendall. He's picked up a base knock tonight. That was way back in the 3rd inning. Chris sets and fires a ground ball through the left side again. That's going to bring home another run. That scores Austin Langworthy. Station to station goes Barron Radcliffe up to second base. An RBI for Kevin Kendall. Make it 8-1 Commodores. These Commodores just keep continuing to pile on the hits. 12 in the ball game, and a 3 spot here in the 7th inning. Another crooked number.
Yeah, and they're just really hitting the ball well. Again, the opposite way. They're seeing the ball deep, just taking what they're given, and they're spraying it the other way and finding gaps.
So Nolan trying to work out of a jam here on the mound as he fires in a breaking ball and caught the outside corner for strike 1. Having to deal with Hayden Cantrell here at the top of the order as the lineup card flips over for Falmouth. Cantrell's been aboard twice, courtesy of a couple of singles. Now in his 5th plate appearance, Nolan fires home an 0-1. Fastball punched straight back to the netting. It's 0-2. So Crisp 1 strike away from working out of the 7th inning. These Falmouth bats ever so relentless. Cantrell looks to notch his 3rd base hit of the night. Barron Radcliffe at second. Kevin Kendall just picked up an RBI. He's at first. Crisp's 0-2. Popped up into shallow left center field. Tito ranging after it in the alley. He's got a beat on it. He'll make the grab, and that ends the 7th inning. The damage has been done, however, by the Falmouth bats. A 3 spot and extends the lead out to 7. Commodores 8, Harbor Hawks 1. Hyannis back to the dish when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Hyannis sends their middle of the order to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Jared DeSantalo, Trevor Hauver, and Ian Fair. But Sam Strickland's night is done after 6 strong innings of work as Oregon left-hander Robert Ahlstrom toes the slab as the lefty fires home to DeSantalo. Checks his swing to go around for strike 1. Ahlstrom making his 6th appearance of the summer, 5th out of the bullpen. He's gone 8 1/3 innings, an ERA of 7.56 with an 0-1 record. Walked 2, struck out 8. The lefty buries the glove in his face, and he'll fire home the 0-1. DeSantalo watches it up high. So to go back to the scoreboard watching for tonight, Wyatt Young was removed from the ballgame for YD after a 2-for-4 night. He sits at 377 as DeSantalo swings and foul tips one in and out of the glove of the catcher Nelson, and it's 1-2. That's also where DeSantalo stands exactly as he enters this at bat. But with those 2 home runs from Zach DeLoach, he sits at 390 on the summer. DeLoach only had 1 long ball entering today's play, but back-to-back home runs and as many at-bats has shot him up to a total of 3. Ahlstrom ready the 1-2 to DeSantalo. Breaking ball lifted into left center, moving over toward the gap. Langworthy, he makes the catch at the letter high level, and there's 1 away. So DeSantalo sprayed one the other way, but just found the glove of the left fielder Langworthy to bring up Trevor Hauver with 1 down.
And he got a good piece of it too, but Langworthy, right place, right time, had to range over a couple steps, but no problem, as DeSantalo got a good piece of it, just hung up a bit too long.
So with those 3 home runs for DeLoach now, he joins the Falmouth party of Hayden Cantrell, who's got 3 home runs. So those 2 are tied for a team lead. Or rather, second on the team, as Hauver swings and tips one into the glove. For Falmouth, Taylor Smith from Grayson County College leads the squad with 4 home runs. Those 3 the only Falmouth players with with multiple bombs on the season. 0-1 to Hauver. This is upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Falmouth as a team doesn't hit a whole ton of home runs. In fact, they came into today 8th in the league with just 10, but 2 from DeLoach has really shot them out to this nice advantage. Pitch to Hauver down low. It's 8-1 Falmouth in the bottom of the 7th frame. Hyannis with just 5 hits. The 1 run came on a Jordan Westberg RBI single back in the bottom of the 6th. So once again, DeLoach leading the Cape League in average. Now tied for second on the Commodores roster in home runs. 2-1 to Hauver. Swinging a pop-up foul, left side out of play. It'll get onto the hill over by that top row of blue bleachers that sits well over the hill of McKeon Park. So Hauver's got a 2-2 count. On the day, he's 1 for 2, single and grounded into a double play. The lefty Ahlstrom gets the sign, comes home, swing and a miss at an off-speed strike 3. Hauver strikes out for the second out of the inning. Ahlstrom records his first punch out of the night. And the first 2 hitters for Hyannis are retired, bringing up Ian Fair. So Fair looking for his first hit. He's reached base once on a walk, also grounded out to short. Ahlstrom working out of the windup as the Oregon Duck gets the sign. Roxon deals home, swinging a foul back from Fair off the screen. For Ahlstrom, he threw 73 1/3 innings in his 2019 campaign for Oregon. 3.93 ERA. 20 walks to 61 punch-outs. Now the 0-1. Ground ball up the middle. Cantrell to his right, makes the backhanded stop, throws across his body. In time, inning over. So Cantrell went just behind the bag at second to make the play on the backhand. Tossed it across his body to the first baseman, Radcliffe. And Hyannis has retired in order in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It's Falmouth 8, Hyannis 1. We'll go to the top of the 8th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the 8th underway at McKeon Park as Nolan Crisp is back on the mound, fires the first pitch outside with an off speed to the Stanford product Tim Tawa. It's 1-0. 8-1 Falmouth in the top of the 8th as Crisp works quickly, fires home again. 2 balls, no strikes. Nolan came on to pitch the 7th. As he's ready with a 2-0. Swinging a line drive out to right center. Over comes Jordan. It drops in front of him, a base hit. Tawa picks up his first hit of the night, second time reaching base. He's aboard at first with nobody out for the number 3 hitter, Zach DeLoach. So Crisp works incredibly quickly. Tyler Drabick came on to start the 7th, but after that home run he gave up to DeLoach, he was removed, later replaced by Crisp. So far to this point, he's now gone just over an inning. 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks to 1 punch out. Pitch to DeLoach, line drive into center. Teodosio coming in, it drops in front of him. Tawa moves up to second, and Zach DeLoach, what a day. 3 hits, 2 long balls. He reaches base for the 4th time. And that'll bring up the Rice third baseman, Trey Cruz. So we headline coming into this game, the top 2 leaders on the Cape in average going head-to-head. But it's been DeLoach's day so far. With that hit, he moves up to 400 exactly on the summer. Game 22, and he's hitting 400. Now the hitter, supposed to be Tyler Ross, but he's going to be replaced with a pinch hitter as Crisp out of the stretch fires home. Up high for a ball. So Crisp looking in. 8-1 Falmouth. 2 on and nobody down. The pitch, swinging a high pop-up into left field. This chases Hauber back, now brings him in. Settles under it, and he makes the grab 1 away. That was Steven Moretto, Sacramento State third baseman. Now it'll bring up the catcher, Matthew Nelson. So the Cal State Sacramento product, Steven Moretto, came into the day hitting just 184. Came on to pinch hit for Tyler Ross. His day ends after going 2 for 3 with a walk, a pair of doubles as well. Now another pinch hitter coming into the game. This will be Taylor Smith. Offering, swinging a pop-up back. So Smith hails from Grayson County College. Cedar Park, Texas, his hometown. Now Jeff Trundy starting to make some changes in the lineup. So Smith, the right-handed hitting catcher, stands at 6'1", 215 pounds. Moretto came on to pinch hit for Ross. He flew out to Hauber and left. And now Taylor Smith, the hitter. As time's been called. Not exactly sure what's going on and why things have stopped. We'll get word to you as soon as we have it. Now things get back in play. Taylor Smith, the hitter, looking to add on to a Falmouth 8-1 lead. Comes into the day hitting 238. Crisp checks the runner. And now he'll deliver home. Breaking ball hits the outside corner. It's 0-2. Smith, the man that leads the Commodores in home runs. He has 4. One of them came against Hyannis back at Gov Fuller Field earlier in the season. So Crisp looking over at the runner. Westberg playing a little bit over to his left. Now he'll step off the mound. Tawa moves back to second with no throw. So Matthew Nelson's night ends after going 0 for 2 with a pair of hit-by pitches and a pair of runs scored. Time's going to be called. Adam Hackenberg wants a quick word on the mound. But Falmouth has really poured it on as the game's gone on. They put up that 1 run in the top of the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, nothing in the 6th, but 3 in the 7th. They've been scoring across the board as time's been called, and they've taken it to Hyannis so far. Hyannis coming into the day actually had beaten Falmouth once. They tied with them once. And the Commodores are currently one of two teams Hyannis has not dropped a game to yet. Now the 0-2. On the outside corner, strike three call. Smith's rung up. That's the second out of the inning, and it'll segue things to Austin Langworthy. Langworthy picked up his first hit in his last at bat. But again, Hyannis is 1-0-1 against Falmouth on the season. They're 3-0 against Bourne, all three of those games coming here at McKeon Park. And Hyannis is actually set to take on Bourne in the week, in fact, as early as tomorrow. July the 10th, they'll head out to Doran Park for the first of 3 games against the Braves on the road. Chris Reddy, the right-hander out of Florida, giving Tawa a couple of looks, he'll come home. Fastball upstairs. This tonight is the third of 6 matchups between the two ball clubs. Falmouth has been to Hyannis once this season, although much shortened, as the game was called after just under 4 innings of play. Now Nolan Crisp sets at the chest-high level, keeps checking Tawa at second, comes home. Off-speed misses away. The two clubs tied 9-9 in the first game. 10-4 Hyannis win in the second game. Both those came out at Gov Fuller Field. And that win for Hyannis was their second victory of the season. They currently sit in the cellar of the West Division looking to catch the Bourne Braves. 2-0. Swinging a high pop-up on the infield right side. Fair backing up, Servideo coming over, and it'll be fair to call him off, moving to his right, and he makes the play. That ends the top of the 8th. Falmouth goes scoreless in the frame after a couple of leadoff hits from both Tim Tawa and Zach Deloach, but it won't go for anything further. Hyannis set to come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 7, trying to chip away at an 8-1 lead held by the Commodores. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Rowdy Jordan coming to the plate to lead things off for Hyannis in the bottom of the 8th inning, with the Harbor Hawks looking to chip away at a big deficit as Falmouth leads 8-1. The left-hander Robert Ahlstrom's back onto the mound. This will be his second inning of work. Jordan, the switch-hitting outfielder, digs in from the right side. The lefty Ahlstrom fires home, swinging a foul back from the hitter Rowdy Jordan. Rowdy today, 0 for 2. Lined into that 5-4 double play, also struck out swinging. The lefty Ahlstrom gets the sign from the catcher, fires home. Line down the right field line, foul. So back to that canceled game, as I was mentioning earlier in the inning. Hyannis and Falmouth got just under 4 innings of play in. And the rain called things off, which was unfortunate for both sides, as 5 innings is technically a completed game, at least at the minimum level in the Cape Cod League. As the 0-2 comes into Jordan, it misses high. But because they couldn't get through 5, that game is going to be started from scratch and made up on July the 15th. But meanwhile, here tonight, Falmouth's really piled it on. They've had multiple run innings in 3 different frames, the 4th, the 5th, and then the 3 spot in the 7th. Pitch to Jordan. Down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. So for Ahlstrom, it's been a struggle for him at times. But he seems to have figured it out, at least as of thus far. He pitched a clean bottom of the 7th frame against Hyannis. Jordan looking for his fifth hit, or rather, misses up high. Looking for his first hit. Hyannis with 5. The team is looking for their 6th. Ahlstrom, the left-hander, gets the sign from the catcher. Nelson fires home, swinging a foul back from Rowdy Jordan. Jordan will step out of the box, adjust the batting gloves. For Falmouth, they've really piled it on today, and the offense has kind of struggled to get the wheels going, at least entering tonight's play. The lefty Ahlstrom's ready with the 3-2 to Rowdy Jordan. Here it comes, down low. Jordan draws a leadoff walk to begin the bottom of the 8th, and Hyannis has a runner on board with nobody down. Adam Hackenberg's now set to be the hitter. But for the Falmouth offense, they've scored just 6 runs in their last 3 games entering today's play. That included a 14-0 loss out at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves last night. They really could not figure it out as Bourne right-hander Mac Lardner out of Gonzaga threw an absolute gem. The Falmouth offense just couldn't really get it going. Now the pitch to Hackenberg, fastball outside. But it's been a different story today. Anchored by Zach DeLoach's 2 home runs, Falmouth put up 8 runs in their first 8 innings on offense. Meanwhile, for Hyannis, just the 1 on the Jordan Westberg RBI single back in the 6th. Now the 1-0. Up high, 2 balls, no strikes. Hackenberg today, 0 for 2. He struck out and popped out. Rowdy Jordan gets a short lead off of first. He's being held on by Baron Radcliffe down there. Now Ahlstrom's 2-0. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. So the defense playing back. The second baseman, Hayden Cantrell, shifted a bit to his right and playing up the middle to the double play if it's intact. Throw over to first low, but Radcliffe digs it out of the dirt. Jordan's back standing up. The shortstop, Kevin Kendall, shifted a bit to his left. And now Hackenberg, the hitter, at a 2-1 count. Pitch. Swinging a foul off the mask of the catcher, Nelson. It's 2-2. So Hackenberg looking for his first hit tonight. Bryce Teodosio, who awaits on deck, picked up his first hit in his last plate appearance with a double down the right field line. Time's called as the home plate umpire for tonight's ball game. Jason Klump went out to the mound to have a word with Ahlstrom briefly. For Hyannis, as potent as their offense has been the last few ball games, just hasn't been the case so far tonight. In fact, they've been so good. They've shot up the league ranks in a lot of team offensive categories. They now sit 4th in team average at 250 as a team entering tonight. They're also tied for 5th in home runs with 14 and 5th in runs by themselves at 106. Pitch to Adam Hackenberg. Swing and a miss. Swings over the top of an off-speed pitch, and there's 1 down. Ahlstrom records strikeout number 2. And it'll bring up Bryce Teodosio, who's 1 for 2 on his night. Adam struck out a pair of times tonight. Now Bryce, who looks down the third base coaching box at Chad Gassman, will get his sign. He's going to dig in. But the big reason behind the low offense from Hyannis tonight, the outing of the left-hander Sam Strickland from Stanford. Pitch to Teodosio. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Sam Strickland went 6 innings tonight. gave up just 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and just the 5 hits. In fact, for Strickland, he's been stretched out in both of his last starts, including tonight. Alstrom's going to come set at the belt. As he works out of the stretch, he comes home. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Teodosio. In his last start, Strickland went 6 innings. He gave up the 1 earned run on 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 2. That was out at Lowell Park against the Katuitt Kettleers, where the Commodores won 4-1 back on Independence Day on July the 4th. So Bryce at an 0-2 count. Knees bent in the right side of the box with Jordan getting a lead. Here comes the offering. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. In comes the first baseman, Radcliffe. Calls off the catcher. He makes the grab on the run. So Radcliffe charged all the way in, just a few feet short of the left-handed batter's box. Made the catch in fair territory. And that brings up Jordan Westberg with 2 outs. But Strickland had Hyannis' number tonight. He threw 6 strong innings, going 6 for the second time in as many tries. It's 8-1 Falmouth in the bottom of the 8th with 2 down. Rowdy Jordan, who drew the leadoff walk, has a lead at first. Another pitch from Alstrom to Westberg. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Now, Strickland didn't get to face his college teammate Brooks Carlson tonight. In fact, those two were also roommates this past year. They squared off the first time Strickland took the mound for Falmouth against Hyannis. The pitch to Westberg's down, it's 1-1. They faced off in that contest, but Brooks not in the lineup tonight, although I'm sure he would have liked to be. Those two, friends and roommates now at school, but they started facing each other all the way back in high school. Now the 1-1 to Westberg. Down low, it's 2-1. So those two faced off for the first time in a live game since then. Of course, never going up against each other on the same team, but Brooks said, I always had his number in high school. He always hit off against him. Didn't get the chance tonight, but Westberg looking to put together a 2-out rally. Pitch, good for a strike, it's 2-2. Brooks in that ball game, the 10-4 win for Hyannis. He went 1 for 5, so he picked up a hit. By getting the night off tonight with Westberg at a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Pitch from Robert Alstrom. Just outside, and it's 3-2. So Strickland, who went against Hyannis once, again, 4 innings, 2 earned on 3 hits, had much more success the second time around. He was an absolute buzzsaw tonight at McKeon Park. The 3-2 to Westberg. Swing and a number into the air at second base. Cantrell moving a step over, and he makes the play. That ends the bottom of the 8th. 1 stranded for Hyannis, and in the inning, no hits, no runs, no errors. 1 man left on. It's Falmouth 8, Hyannis 1 through 8 frames of play. We'll go to the 9th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the ninth for McKeon Park as Nolan Crisp is back on the mound, works quickly to the new pitch hitter Jackson Coots, who pops one foul out of play on the left side. So Crisp back on the mound for Hyannis. This will be his third inning of work. And Coots, who hails from Rhode Island, looking to get something going to add on to the Falmouth lead. Offering. Down low, it's 1-1. Falmouth an 8-1 advantage. 14 hits compared to the 5 of the Harbor Hawks. And one more time, it has really been anchored by Zach DeLoach. On the night, 3 for 4, 2 home runs, 2 runs scored, 3 runs batted in. He also walked. Crisp will get a new baseball up on the mound. He's given up 5 hits so far, the 2 earned runs. But he did work a scoreless 8th. As Coots will step out of the box for just a second. And now Crisp fires home. Swinging a chopper right side. Fair charging in. Makes the play. Flips to Crisp covering the bag. And he wins the foot race. 3-1 putout retires the hitter Coots. And that'll now segue things to Baron Radcliffe.
First baseman from Georgia Tech, number 44, Baron Radcliffe.
So Radcliffe today struck out swinging. Also a sac fly, a walk, and an RBI single. He sticks the bat up high in the air. Out toward the mound, now into his stance, bat wiggling above his left shoulder. Pitch from Crisp. Good breaking ball in for a strike. So Radcliffe today 1 for 2 in total as he watches the fastball run away. 2 RBIs. He had just 2 coming into today. So he's doubled that total here at McKeon Park against Hyannis. Pitch. Big swing and a miss. Almost came out of his shoes. It's 1-2. Meanwhile for Hyannis, looking to keep the score at bay as pitch fired home. It's upstairs. Looking around the league, Bourne picked up a 6-4 win tonight over Katuitt. So Hyannis is in for a big one tomorrow at Doran Park. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Radcliffe strikes out for the second time tonight. And Crisp records his first strikeout of the 9th inning as he's retired the first 2 hitters in order.
UCLA, number 7, Kevin Kendall.
So Kendall coming to the plate. He's got 2 singles today. And what's been a 2 for 4 outing. But again, that Bourne win is going to loom large. Hyannis trailing by 7 in the top of the 9th as Crisp fires home. Kendall checks his swing. Does not go around. It's 1-0.
Well, we talked about what a big day Saturday was against the Bourne Braves, and Hyannis responded in a big way there. And tomorrow night, going to be probably an even bigger matchup.
1-0. Ground ball foul just behind home plate. Looking at the standings coming into today, the top of the West is fairly separated, at least from the bottom part. The top 3 are all neck and neck. Katuitt 26 points, Wareham 25, Falmouth 23. Crisp will fire home. Good for a strike, and it's 1-2. Meanwhile, Bourne had 16 points at 8-14, and Hyannis coming in at 5-17-1 had 11 points. But with Bourne winning tonight, they've moved up to 18 as Crisp gets the sign. He fires home. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. Nolan Crisp, with a nice 9th inning of work, retires the Falmouth lineup in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. And Hyannis with their last licks coming up on the other side of the break. They trail by 7. It's Falmouth 8, Hyannis 1. And we'll be back for the bottom of the 9th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis sends up the 2-3-4 Anthony Servideo, Hunter Goodman, and Jared DeSantolo to the plate in the bottom of the ninth. As Oregon lefty Robert Alstrom's back on the mound looking to put on the finishing touches on the Harbor Hawks for his Falmouth Commodores. The lefty buries the glove in his face. He'll come home to Servideo. Breaking ball hits the zone, strike one called. Anthony today 0 for 3. Pair of strikeouts, also grounded out to the pitcher. It'll be his first time seeing Alstrom as the lefty kicks and deals. Breaking ball popped up and out of play. So Falmouth really had a firm grip on this one. Again, the 1 run in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and the 3 in the seventh. Let's put them out to the 7-run advantage as they lead 8-1. Another pitch from Alstrom, swing and a miss from Servideo. Commodores go around the horn, and it'll bring up Hunter Goodman with 1 down. So Goodman the hitter, he's 0 for 3 today. Looking for his first hit. Couple of Falmouth defensive changes. Steven Moretto stayed in the game. He's at third base, while Jackson Coots has gone out to left. Pitch to Goodman. Swinging a pop-up foul out of play. So just 5 hits for Hyannis tonight. Haven't had one since the Jordan Westberg RBI single in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1. Breaking ball, cutting a wave from Hunter Goodman at 0-2. So Goodman, of course, with some light tower power, came into the day leading the Cape League in RBIs. He has 22 to his name. Right, Alstrom fires home down low. He's also tied for third in home runs with 4. Tyler Hardman of Brewster and Austin Wells of YD each have 5. They sit atop the Cape League. Alstrom gets the sign. He comes home. Swing and a miss from Goodman. There's 2 away. Hunter strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And the last hope for Hyannis, Jared DeSantolo here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Goodman's made it a hat trick tonight. It's been one to forget for him as well as Hyannis. In that last at bat, took a big couple of swings looking to go yard and not happy with himself as he returns to the dugout. And Brooks Carlson's going to come in to pinch hit.
So here's Carlson. Ends the day of Jared DeSantolo. Carlson, the first baseman out of Samford. He'll dig in from the right side. Asks for time, now loops the bat around the zone as he's set to get ready. Alstrom fires home, swinging a pop-up foul out of play. So Falmouth has really responded nice tonight. After suffering one of the worst losses of the Cape season, 14-0 against the Bourne Braves at Doran Park. However, if you throw that aside, Falmouth has been really, really good in their last stretch of games. They've won 6 of their last 8. They're 1 out away from making it 7 of their last 9. They're now fighting for the West lead as well. Pitch to Carlson. Up high, it's 1-1. So again with the West standings. Katuitt came into the day with 26 points. They'll stay that way with the loss. Wareham will move up to first place with 27. The pitch to Brooks. Inside, it's 2-1. And if Falmouth hangs on to win tonight and records this final out, they'll be in a tie for second place with the Gatemen. So once again, Falmouth really putting together a nice stretch of wins here in the last 10 games or so. Carlson, a 2-1 count, looking to extend the ball game. 2-1 from Alstrom. Line drive left side on the ground and through the hole for a base hit. Brooks Carlson ripped one to the left side. Came onto the infield dirt right at the very end. Kevin Kendall, the shortstop, trying to move to his right to make the play, but had no chance at it. And Carlson picks up a pinch hit single to segue things to Trevor Hover.
Well, the toughest thing to do in baseball is come off the bench and try and get a base knock ice cold, but that's exactly what Carlson did. Took a fastball on the inside half of the plate, just roped one through the 5-6 hole, and extends the ball game for the time being for Hover.
Now Trevor digs in from the left side. Pitch from the lefty, Alstrom, swinging a pop-up out of play. So Falmouth has really relied on their pitching. in this stretch of games. Again, offense scorching outside of tonight. Just 6 runs in their last 3 contests. But as a result, they've won 6 of their last 8 and out away from making it 7-9. Pitch to Haver, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Meanwhile, for Hyannis, the bats have been so good over the last week of play. Just one off day tonight as Sam Strickland, the left-hander from Samford, threw an absolute gem here in Hyannis. Ahlstrom the 0-2 with 2 down. Pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. Haver strikes out for the final out as Robert Ahlstrom comes in to record the final 3 innings of scoreless ball. And Falmouth picks up their 12th win of the season and is now in a second-place tie with the Wareham Gatemen in the West Division. And Brendan, they've now won 7-9. They're on quite the stretch.
Yeah, they're rolling, and they came into McKeon Park tonight, led by Sam Strickland, who you just talked about, pitched an absolute magnificent ball game tonight. Shut down this Hyannis lineup that we thought was going to keep rolling. They put up 10 runs their last time out against Wareham on 17 hits, but tonight, this Falmouth Commodore pitching staff shutting them down to the tune of just 1 on 6 hits. So it's a tough one for Hyannis tonight here at home. Couldn't pick one up. They were in search of their 6th win of the season to try and climb back out of the cellar of the West Division. Now that sets the stage for a huge matchup tomorrow with the Bourne Braves.
Like you mentioned, tomorrow out at Doran Park facing the 4th place Braves. They sit at 18 points with their win tonight at 9-14. Meanwhile, for Hyannis, 5-18-1, still with 11 points. Again, a lot rides on these Bourne games now, especially the final 3 of the season, as it's their final trio of chances to make up as much efficient ground as they can on the Braves. And as a result, they win tomorrow. They'll be within 5 points again. They drop it. They're going to be looking pretty far up, as if Bourne picks up a win tomorrow, they'll be at 20 points and 9 ahead of Hyannis halfway through the season, so, or just over that. So long story short, tomorrow might be a must-win.
And they've started to distance themselves quite a bit since Saturday when they came here at McKeon Park and dropped 2 to Hyannis. That really gave them some hope. They put them 3 back at that time on Saturday, but since Bourne picked up another win tonight, they're now, this difference stands at 7. So tomorrow night, like you said, almost a must-win situation, and everyone's going to have to be firing on all cylinders and bring their A game.
And for that game tomorrow night, they're going to need the offense to be back in full form, because I think we're starting to see what the form of this team is like, because there is talent on the offensive side of the ball. They can put together runs. They can string together big innings, and they've done so in the last week. Just Falmouth found a way to blank them tonight. So for tomorrow against Bourne, who they had no problem hitting around back on Saturday, they're going to need that offense to find their form again.
Absolutely, they will. And I think that the bats are just going to have to stay aggressive. You know, we talk about it so much that if you just keep swinging the bat and putting bats to baseballs, good things will happen for you, and they'll find the holes eventually. And that's what we saw the past couple of nights, where this Hyannis offense really put on a show. But tonight, credit to Sam Strickland where credit is due. He was absolutely phenomenal tonight, and Hyannis just drops this one and got to move on to tomorrow and change your focus to Bourne.
One more time, 8-1 the final score here from McKeon Park in Hyannis. For the Commodores, they moved to 12-9-1, Hyannis to 5-18-1. An absolute finger snap of a game. This one blew by, like you said, Brendan. 2 hours and 34 minutes the final time. Sam Strickland picks up the win for the Falmouth Commodores tonight. He was absolutely dazzling, like we talked about, with his 6 innings of 1-run ball. Strickland will move to 3-1 on the season. And meanwhile, Kyle Murphy picks up the loss tonight. Robert Ahlstrom, 3 strong innings out of the bullpen to finish things off. And in a 2-hour, 34-minute game, once again, Falmouth prevails 8-1. The final line for each team. For the winning Commodores, 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors. They leave 10 on base. For the Harbor Hawks, 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error. They leave 4 on base. Hyannis will be right back at it tomorrow at 6 p.m. with, once again, what might be a must-win game out at Doran Park against the Bourne Braves. It'll be Hyannis and Bourne squaring off then tomorrow night. But for one final time, for Brendan Howe, I'm Lyle Goldstein. We thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow out at Doran Park in Bourne.